Sarasota. Spring training, a hopeful time for baseball fans and players alike. Veteran players, they are hopeful to improve in last season. Others, they are just hoping to make an impression on a new ball club. But for everyone, spring training has one universal meaning. Baseball is back, and it's right here on Massive. From Sarasota, Florida, for the third year, the spring training home of the Orioles, it's our first televised game of the season as the Pittsburgh Pirates are here to take on the Orioles. Game number 2, actually, for the O's in spring training as they won 1 earlier this afternoon. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne, and a big welcome to you as the Orioles get set for a 2012 season. They couldn't kick it off at a better night for a televised game. It is absolutely gorgeous here in Sarasota. The changes, of course, to be made, all about winning. Dan Duquette has taken over in charge of baseball operations. What he's looking for offensively are people who can get on base. Yes, we're going back to Moneyball. That's what he's looked for. The on-base percentage for the Orioles, you see 5th in the East, and it was 10th overall in the American League. The walks were also 10th. Team leader was Mark Reynolds, believe it or not, in that department. The runner and scoring position numbers actually got heightened a great deal in the final month of the season. Overall, though, it was 8th in the middle of the pack. The Orioles' magic number, you got to score 4 runs or more if you're going to win ball games. That's what helped them last year. The hope this year is that the Orioles roster, Jim Palmer, will have more of those people who get on base.
Yeah, and I think that's designed. We're going to get to see Jay Miller, a powerful right-handed hitter. He's going to play the outfield tonight. He hit home runs. He can steal some bases, hit 32 home runs. And if you've ever been to where the River Cats play in Sacramento, it's a big, big ballpark. So power and speed, hopefully that will translate into more offense. But the one thing about the 4 runs, the Orioles only had 1 winning month. That was the month of September. Pitching wasn't very good. ERA a little under 5 runs a game, but they scored 5 runs a game. More wins than losses.
And it's the age-old issue of pitching. And for the Orioles last year, it just all fell apart. Starter-wise, that has got to be corrected. Brian Mattis is one of those who's got to be there.
Well, it really is. And, you know, he came to spring training. He was injured. He had come off winning 7 out of his last 8 decisions. The Orioles won 17 games in August and September of 2010. He comes to spring training, hurts the rib cage, gets 15 innings in spring training. Thought he'd be out 3 weeks. He's out over 2 months. Gets 13 innings to the minor leagues. His velocity's 86 miles per hour. Didn't have velocity, didn't have location, ends up with the highest ERA of all time. And you know what? The good news, Gary, he gets to start over. The one thing that we can say right now is he is in shape. Brady Anderson did a great job of his conditioning, and he's very confident. And let's see how he looks tonight.
Now it's about delivering, and for the Orioles, they will begin that process here tonight, just trying to get better. And the Orioles have virtually their entire positional starting lineup going tonight. Masson is brought to you by Sarasota. Go behind the stadium. Visit Sarasota on Florida's Gulf Coast at www.number1beach.com. That number one beach, Siesta Keys, beautiful white sandy beach.
Yeah, no biasness there, is it?
Voted number one.
What a beautiful little city this is.
What a gorgeous night we've got. Pittsburgh Pirates, here you go. The lineup, you'll see Presley, Harrison, Navarro, Haig, Alvarez. We'll have a lot to say about him. Hernandez, Jones is going to be a starter. Marte, who they're really taking a look at. And McHenry is going to be the backup catcher. Garrett Jones last year, solid season with the 58 RBIs, 16 home runs.
Take a look at Brian Mattis in our scouting report. Well, it's a new year. The 1-9 record, the ERA for the highest ever for a pitcher with over 10 starts, 3.64 home runs per 9 innings, the highest for any pitcher in the history of Major League Baseball. It's all gone. He is ready to compete. Not only physically, it's one of the variables you certainly can control. Again, his off-season conditioning a lot better than it was last year. And then again, if you go back to this time last year, after coming off a great conclusion to the 2010 season, did hurt the rib cage, backed off for almost 2 months, and when he came back, totally different pitcher.
And he's got to be that for the Orioles. I mean, it's no secret to Oriole fans or anyone around baseball. The Orioles team, position-wise, is going to be about the same as last year, what they ended with. And for Buck Showalter and company, it's about starting pitching. They've got about 12 pitchers who are making an effort to be in that starting group, but there's no question the likes of Brian Mattis and Jake Arrieta and Zach Britton. I mean, these are the people that the Orioles are counting on to come through.
So you have a healthy Jake Arrieta after elbow surgery, feels great. And you have Mattis in much better shape, back to where he probably should have been coming into spring training last year.
Here's Alex Presley. Presley is going to be making a bid for the left field position, which is where he is starting. You see the very solid numbers Presley put up last year out of Shreveport, Louisiana. 26-year-old to start the season. Mattis's pitch is going to be in there for a strike, and we'll even it up at 1-1.
Yeah, the one thing about Alex Presley, when he does get on base, and he hit close to 300 in limited at-bats last year, he can run a little bit. So you got McCutcheon, who's not playing tonight, just signed the big contract. He had 23 steals.
Good off-speed delivery, but it is going to miss.
Yeah, you could see the flinch there, Gary.
Yep, he had him jelly-legged on that, but the pitch was not in the strike zone.
So these are the accounts that got Brian Mattis into trouble last year. The hitters counts, as you look at the skipper, Clint Hurdle. Terrific job in his first year with the Pirates.
That one will be down the left field line, not deep, and that's going to fall in for a base hit. Reimold over to get it, and the speedster is on. So Alex Presley's got himself a base hit off Mattis to start the ball game. Talking about the battle for the starting position, Arrieta, Britton, Dylan Bundy is certainly going to start at the minor leagues, but I'll tell you, if he pitches the way he can pitch, he's not going to be down there for long. Yeah,
well, you know, I think to me one of the interesting guys who's healthy, Armando Galarraga, another guy, Jason Hamill, comes over in the Guthrie trade from Colorado. Tommy Hunter, we saw his power arm. And, you know, Tillman, better shape, worked out with Brady Anderson, is throwing the ball a lot better than he did last year. 93-96 in the inter-squad game. I've never seen that from him. So there are some positive signs, but again, you're going to have to make the club, and then you're going to have to pretty much do what Tampa Bay does, which is outpitch everybody to be competitive.
Yep. In the very tough division that we always talk about. Here is Josh Harrison. Harrison is making the start at shortstop. Presley on at first base does have good speed. That will be fouled away. Clint Hurdle has already got the attention of his ball club. They played a couple of games and lost, and he was not happy already. Clint said that there was no focus. We were sloppy, and I don't like the way we played. And he didn't just say it to the team. He said that publicly, and he wants this thing turned around right now. You know, you lose some games in spring training, okay, but when you're playing sloppy and you're not focused, that's another story. Mattis holding Presley on, and that'll be down the line in left field. That's going to be trouble. Reimold was playing in and over to center, so he's got a long run. Presley's going to make the turn. The relay throw will come in and skip all the way into the bag, and there's an RBI and a double by Harrison. And the Pirates take a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, they got the message, and it's not that you lose, it's how you lose. They made 3 errors yesterday, didn't hit well, didn't pitch well. And right here you can see tries to get it in. 0-2. Good pitchers count. But again, Harrison with a very quick bat. Fastball not where you want it. There's the double, and Presley with good speed makes it 1-0.
Well, the Pirates get to Mattis early here, and while this may be the first spring training start for the Oriole left-hander, I mean, you can say those things early on, but look, in Brian's case, wants to see progress and wants to see it now so he can gather some confidence.
Well, this was this was kind of the way last year went. He told you about all the home runs, over 3.5 runs per 9 innings, so that's a lot of home runs. But again, it was kind of like tonight, soft hit, then you make a mistake, you don't get the ball, you get ahead of the hitter, you do everything you want, but you don't quite complete the at-bat. And all of a sudden Harrison makes it 1-0, and it'll be very interesting with a powerful hitter coming up. Navarro will try to play, let's hit the ball the right side.
Navarro with the outfield straight away on him, and he will take the pitch on the outside corner. It is a called strike. Navarro indeed does have some power. He's going to be making the start at second base in the ball game tonight. Navarro looking to get an RBI early in this ball game with a runner on at second, and Mattis trying to hold the pitch count down early here in the first inning.
It's not about innings in spring training, it's about the pitches. So again, a lot of times maybe if you're going to go 2 innings, you'll get 30 pitches or how many outs you can get. Not like the old days where you'd go out there and pretty much the first time out you pitch 3 innings. Yeah.
Navarro last year playing with Boston and Kansas City, and a couple of stints with each of those teams' AAA ball clubs. 1-2 delivery, does chop it towards second base. Andino is there. They'll make a play over to Davis for the out. He gets the job done, though, as he moves the runner Harrison over to third base.
Well, there's no lack of focus right there. I mean, that's situational hitting. The Pirates, 16 teams in the National League, they were 14th in runs scored. So if you're Clint Hurdle, even with 2 strikes, he was able to get the job done, and you can see right there, that's the focus you need to score runs and get the early lead.
Now the Orioles will play it halfway in the infield with only 1 down and a runner at third base. We'll see whether they move in as well on the pitch. Matt Haig is the designated hitter for the Pirates in this game, and Haig will take the pitch up high for a ball. Haig getting a start from their minor league camp, an International League All-Star, Eastern League All-Star.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, he had a very, very good year last year, over 300, led the league in games and hits. Not a lot of home runs. You could see 12. With a chance right here, and they talk so much. Every team that I've ever been around says, how can we improve on last year offensively? Better hitting, as you mentioned, on base percentage, but situational hitting, and that's one of those cases here.
Infield stays halfway, and the strike is taken on the outside corner. Still ahead on the count is Haig with a 2-ball 1-strike count. Matt is trying to prevent a run. You work defensively, situationally in spring training, sometimes differently than you would during the season. Orioles might not have that infield halfway during the regular season, but they want to get a chance to work on this. So with a runner on at third base, you go ahead and draw the infield in, try and prevent that run from scoring. That's the way Buck Showalter has played the inter-squad games. They'll come out and play, and when there are 3 outs by either of the teams, he will then go into a situational drill, like runners at first and second, 1 down, leave the team that's on the field, and they'll practice rundowns and get their defensive alignments set.
And the other side of that coin, Gary, as you know, Greg Ritchie, their hitting instructor, will be behind the cage and say, okay, less than 2 outs, get a ball that you can put in the air, especially before you get to 2 strikes.
And that ball's to the hole. That's a base hit. Maybe not had the infield not been drawn in, but that's an RBI single for Haig. And the Pirates here in the first inning have put a couple of runs up on the board. As we said, Oriole fans are getting to see a lineup that, if all goes as planned, Jim, will probably look a good deal like this on opening day.
Yeah, with the exception of Nick Markakis, who is coming back from the abdominal surgery. So Raimel Jones Miller, Reynolds, Hardy, and Dino. Chris Davis over at first base, and then the Gold Glover, one of the 2 the Orioles had, Matt Wieters, doing the catching.
Looking for a big year from their leader behind the plate, the Gold Glover, along with Nick for the Orioles. Now the runner at first, double play depth, and the left-hander up will take the strike. This is Pedro Alvarez. This is a player the Pirates are counting on to bounce back. He had a bad year last year, highlighted with some injuries, but also just not much of a performance at all at the plate. He had a very good year 2 years ago in his rookie season. They want to see if he can come back and get back into the form they saw in year one.
Yeah, it all started in spring training for Pedro. Again, this is a guy they gave over $6 million, their #1 draft choice back in 2008. He had the quad pull. He went from 16 home runs to 4. But you're right. McCutchen hit 23 home runs last year, signed a long-term, 6 years with an additional year. He's a right-handed hitter, so if you want to have balance in your lineup, they need Alvarez to step it up.
He's looked pretty good this spring early. That ball is going to be fouled off. Ryan Mattis with an 0-2 count on him now. The other thing, of course, they'll be looking at from the Orioles' perspective, Von Brian, is there any zing to it? Is there some mustard on that fastball?
And can you get it by him? I mean, already he's given up two strike hits in the first inning.
Runner at first base is Haig. Not a big lead over there being held. And the pitch is going to be in there for a strike. And he gets the K. His first one of the ball game, and there are 2 down.
I'll take a look right here. Weeder slides to the outside corner. Perfect pitch. Nicely framed. Bill Welke behind the plate tonight.
This is one of the few games that will be played in spring training with us virtually no wind tonight. A little gentle breeze blowing out towards center. It's 69 degrees at game time.
I thought you were going to say a few times we see 4 umpires.
Well, that's
3. Yeah.
Now they want to get the work in, so they've got a veteran crew here. Bill Welke's got the plate tonight. Wally Bell, Paul Emmel, and Chad Fairchild. See the flags out there in left center. Not blowing much at all. Welke's got the plate. And 1-0 count with 2 down. Haig off at first base. Gorgis Hernandez is getting the start in center field. This ball game for the Pirates. They've brought 3 starters who are in the lineup. McCutchen, of course, will be their center fielder to start the season. Not on the road trip.
Yeah, you can see the numbers for Hernandez. Not a lot of home runs, but 19 triples. And that led the Indianapolis and AAA affiliate. So this is a speedster. He can steal bases. 54 steals coming up through the minor leagues early on.
And we've already said a lot about the speed, so you can tell Pittsburgh is going to rely on speed. Hurdle wants to use it on the base paths, hit and run, stolen bases, try and keep things running. 2-1 delivery on the way, and that'll be swung on. Maybe foul tipped into the mitt, but it's a strike. And 2-2.
Yeah, this again, you talked about, does he have zip? Hitters count 2-1. You're just trying to maybe make a good pitch, so a little bit extra. And again, after the injuries last year, his velocity was at 86. Tonight, 91. Location not that good tonight, at least to this point.
2 ball, 2 strikeout. Runner not going, and that will miss, and the runner will be going. So it'll go to 3-2 with 2 away. Haig will be on the fly at first base.
Yeah, it looks like a little cut fastball, and it, again, it's only 83 miles per hour. Maybe it's a changeup, but stood up on it.
Davis will stay on the bag at first, holding. 3-2 delivery. That'll be down to third and fouled off, and we'll have to do it again. Well, there are the projected pitchers tonight. Kevin Gregg still in a battle for that closing spot with Jim Johnson. Matt Lindstrom they're going to take a long look at him for middle relief. Troy Patton, the left-hander, who's been up and down with the O's, and newly acquired Darren O'Day going for the Orioles. The Orioles have a couple of sidewinders who are on the team this year. 3-2 again, and that's there, and he got him. So Mattis comes back, couple of RBIs, Harrison and Haig. As the Pirates get 2 runs on 3 hits to take a 2-0 lead, we'll take a look at the O's lineup when we come back to Sarasota. A 1-1. They scored a 3-1 earlier this afternoon. Now trying to win one here. Reimold, Hardy, and Jones, Reynolds, Wieters, and Ryan Adams, Davis, Miller, and Andino. Adam last year, 25 home runs, 83 RBIs. And Mark still on him. Even better.
And they will face the lefty. Actually came over on the 2nd of August, picked up on waivers to the Orioles. So golden opportunity for him. He's a non-roster player. Oh, what a relief. Pitched actually pretty well at the end of the year in September. And the Orioles winning 15 out of the 28 games they played. He was a big part of that. And then for him to be successful, you know, and again, he's only 27. It doesn't throw that hard. That's the numbers with the Orioles. He also won 5 games with the Blue Jays. He's got to keep the ball down. He likes to pitch high, and again, when you're throwing 88, 89, that's not usually going to get hitters out in the American League. Not with the DH.
Well, another former Oriole who is now with the Pirates, and Nolan Reimold leading it off. And here is the big chance for Nolan Reimold. The left field is his to start. And what he's got to do is show that he's capable of keeping it. Right back to the mound, Reimold. And Reyes gets the out.
Yeah, take a look at the Pirates defense. Don't need too much of it when you get comebackers. Presley, Hernandez, Marte, Alvarez, Harrison, Navarro. Garrett Jones over at first base. Wears out right-handed pitching. And then McHenry. Even though it looks like Rod Barajas will do most of the catching. Big, strong right-handed catcher that they acquired over the offseason.
That'll bring up J.J. Hardy. Could not have had a much better season, and really a surprise season for maybe even him. But being healthy and carrying it through with those 30 home runs and 80 RBIs on the year for the Orioles shortstop, he was just outstanding. And with that power shown, where do you put him in this lineup? I think it's one of the real interesting questions along with the pitching for Buck Showalter is putting this lineup together. He's got Reimold hitting first tonight, and he said a couple of days ago, he said, I'm considering Reimold as a leadoff hitter legitimately during the season, but I don't know yet. I got to try some people out. A lot will depend on Brian Roberts.
Yeah, I mean, you know that certainly he'd be an ideal leadoff guy if he's healthy. And of course, Brian can't tell you with the concussion-like symptoms still going on and lingering whether he'll do that. Buck can't tell you.
Nope. The assumption has to be he's not going to be able to play.
I would just like to get Hardy up when you can get him some fastballs.
Yep. He's gone on a strikeout.
Yeah, a little cutter up and in, and again JoJo Reyes able to get ahead. A couple of good pitches in on his hands. You know, J.J. Hardy proved to me, I mean, he can hit the fastball. 30 home runs, back to where he was when he was with the Brewers, when he was healthy. You mentioned the best thing, that he was healthy last year.
Yeah.
But he attacks the ball, so get him some fastballs to hit out over the plate, not up under your fist.
Adam Jones with the 25 homers, 83 RBIs, Oriole Player of the Year, is voted by the Oriole media that covers the team. Pitch outside for a ball. If you want to have some fun, you do what all managers do at this time of the year. In fact, most managers do it all year. You sit down with paper napkins when you're having a cup of coffee and you write lineups. If you were doing the Orioles lineup, where would you put everybody? Because you pretty much know who's going to play. Markakis is going to be ready for opening day. All indications are. Brian Roberts is the issue as to whether or not he'll play, and if he doesn't, Andino will. So assume Andino's in the lineup and try and put a lineup together. You'll find it's not very easy.
Now, there was a big article in the Boston Globe. Bobby Valentine, who will be the skipper this year, said that don't expect a set lineup. It could change from day to day because pitchers change from day to day. Try to get the right matchups. Try to match up your hitters with their pitchers.
And it really looks like that's what the Orioles, Buck Showalter, may be doing this season, both in that leadoff spot and for the rest of the lineup. You've got Andino, who could be a leadoff batter, of course, but he really likes to have him towards the bottom of the order. He likes the number 9 hole to have somebody there who can hit the ball and get on base. So if he doesn't want Andino leading off, then who is it going to be? And then you've got strikeouts in the lineup that you want to separate. You've got Reynolds and you've got Davis, who you know are going to strike out a lot.
And you got Adam Jones at over 100.
Yep. And that's going to be towards short, diving and off the glove of Harrison. That's a base hit. Only chance he had. Jones is on with a 2-out single.
A nice little 2-out base hit by Adam Jones. He had a chance. I said, what did you do in the offseason? He said, well, I stayed down in San Diego. I worked with Tony Gwynn. Now, Tony, if
he
could know baseball, he had 8 batting titles. And he said, listen, you got to have a plan. You got to cut down on the strikeouts. Just imagine if you only struck out 60, 70 times. versus 110.
Yep.
How much more damage you could do. And by, again, cutting your swing down, you get Reynolds to the plate. Chance to tie it.
So Reynolds against the left-hander Reyes, and the pitch is down low for a ball. Mark, of course, continued to do as he has always done, and that's put some strikeouts up. On the other hand, you saw the home runs and RBIs that he also put up. And that's what he was obtained for by the Orioles. For those latter two statistics, homers and RBIs, and he delivered. Reyes with a little breaking ball that's going to miss outside, and a 2-0 count with 2 down. So Reynolds batting cleanup, and at third base as he will be if all goes well for opening day. And then Wieters behind him, and Presley, the hitting coach, who has worked with Mark a bit, but you don't want to change him a whole lot because you don't want to take away that power. And he's going to swing at some balls like that with just that kind of a cut.
Oh, yeah. He sometimes swings like the ball's in another zip code. But when he connects, and again, he was able to do that on 37 occasions, ball goes a long way.
2-1 strike count. Jones a pretty good lead over there. Reyes's delivery, and that just missed. Close as he kept the pitch down.
Yeah, for a guy that struck out, 196 times last year, 211 the year before, 223. Again, he does walk, 75 walks, 83 the year before. On base percentage, pretty high for a strikeout guy.
3-1 delivery on the way, and just came after him that time, and the count will go to 3-2. So Jones will be running at first base. 3 balls, 2 strikes with the Pirates up by a score of 2-0. These two teams have 4 spring training games that they will be playing against one another, so they'll get to see one another. And then they're going to play during the regular season at Camden Yards, a 3-game set, June 12, 13, and 14. Last year the Bucks went 0-5 against the Orioles during the spring. The Orioles won them all, but during the regular season, Clint Hurdle's ball club won 2 of the 3 games that were played in Pittsburgh. Buck Showalter's club, of course, the Orioles had the big finish at the end. Pirates were the other way. Pirates were battling for first place at the All-Star break, and then it all fell apart. And a towering pop-up to right field. Marte will back up on this. And wandered and didn't get it. Jones is going to score. Reynolds will go into second base. Never got a good lineup on that one, and Marte, you could see, just drifting, and it wasn't the wind. There's virtually no breeze blowing, and he just didn't catch it.
Yeah, the wind was blowing out to right early on, but it's pretty like a zephyr. I just don't think he sees it. You know, again, first night game, most likely for him. I don't think they played in the inter-squad games at night. But a very good lights here, a completely redone ballpark, beautiful ballpark here at Ed Smith Stadium. We just played it into a double, and the Orioles have, again, now a chance with the extra out to tie it up.
Well, Reynolds will be credited with the RBI on that, and now the potential tying run is on at second base, and here's Matt Wieters. Matt working in the number 5 hole. As Ryan Adams, who's the designated hitter, behind him. That's one of the other roles that has to be filled for the Orioles, of course, this year is the DH role. Vladimir Guerrero gone. Wilson Betement's been brought over and is one of the names that is being looked at for that role.
Yeah, high on base percentage, switch hitter. Not hit a lot of home runs, about 8 last year.
And a strike taken from Reyes. The Orioles do not really have anybody with the at least at this point, with the big power bat they're looking at for the DH role. Now, Nick Johnson could be a name that gets put into that mix, certainly.
Yeah, he doesn't hit a lot of home runs, but again, talk about high on base percentage, over 400 for his career if he's healthy.
1-1.
Says the right wrist is healthy. He can play first base. But the guy that really wore out left-handed pitching was the guy at the plate right now. 11 of his 22 home runs and 121 at bats against lefties.
Side he likes to hit from in the outfield deep. And a very good sense of the strike zone that we saw last year for Matt Wieters. Reyes' delivery to him, and he went after it up high. Nope. We'll get the benefit of the doubt from Wally Bell, who says he held up on that, and the count will go to 2-2.
Yeah, this is the Wally Bell perspective. Didn't break his wrist. I'd certainly be asking for the strikeout. I want to get to the bench and rest if I'm JoJo Reyes.
Quickly as possible.
Oh, yeah.
2 balls, 2 strikes, runner on second base.
That and keep it out of right field.
That's right. Alvarez has got it. He'll make the play over to first, and that will do it. The Orioles pick up a run on a couple of hits with a base runner left on, and after one, the Pirates have the 2-1 lead.
In the first inning, again right here after a flare and a base hit, gets the 2-strike pitch, and Harrison hits a double. Matt Haig will single him in. Then the good parts, Alvarez takes strike 3 outside corner, and you can see good location, good results. Early on, struggled with his command velocity, better than it was at this time last year.
Remember, Brian, Major League-wise, has pitched in 52 games. He's had 52 starts. And his minor league numbers, of course, virtually none, since he appeared in only 30 games in the minor leagues in 09 and then in 11 last year in rehab and when he was sent down. So the Major League experience not great. However, he is 25 years old, just turned 25 in February. So the time is now. Here's the starting first baseman, Garrett Jones. Jones last year with 16 home runs, 58 RBIs. He's one of the centerpieces of this team. He had 78 starts in right field, 29 at first base, and he hits the ball into right for a base hit.
And again, 86 miles per hour. He's going to be all over it.
For as low as $159, you can become an Orioles partial season plan holder. Enjoy a huge list of exclusive orange carpet benefits. It's the 20th anniversary, of course, of Oriole Park at Camden Yards. You don't want to miss the activities that will be going on. Become an Orioles season plan holder. 888-848-BIRD, Orioles.com for details. There will be lots of activities around the ballpark at Camden Yards this year with the celebration of the 20th anniversary. And has been already repeated by innumerable Orioles fans. How can it possibly be 20 years? Everybody's saying, I remember that memorial. And now it's 20 years at Camden Yards.
Yeah, Rick Sutcliffe on the mound did that game. Pitched a great game, opening day at Camden Yards.
Marte's got good speed. He's got a base hit. Perfect bunt.
Yep, well, there's Pittsburgh Pirate baseball. You take what they give you. You do what you do best. Played A ball and double A. They're playing back. And he just lays it down. You know, again, lightning numbers last year at Altoona, 332. Again, doesn't hit a whole lot of home runs.
They really like him. Clint Hurdle said they're going to take a long look at Marte.
Just don't let him play at night, though.
Yeah.
Not out in right field.
No. Still young, but they really like the way he plays. He's very strong, good speed. That's a name that maybe in the future. All right, the bunt would seemingly be in order. You've got Mike McKinney, the catcher, who's the number 9 hitter. Orioles are going to play Davis in at first base. Reynolds about even with the bag at third. Let's see if he bunts here or not. And the pitch will be taken for a strike. Nobody out. Runners on at first and second base. 5 hits for the Pirates now in the 8 batters they have sent to the plate. Now, Brian Mattis has had a bit of a struggle here in his first start of this spring. Outfield not deep on McKinney. And the pitch to him is going to be away. And a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
Yeah, I think if you go back and we saw it yesterday with the Pirates, Eric Bedard trying to make that club, I think $4 or $5 million deal. He's a veteran. For him, it's just about, are you healthy? But again, if you're Brian Mattis, not only are you healthy, but can you get hitters out?
27-year-old grounds at the third. Reynolds has got it. There's one. Andino trying to hustle it, and he does. They got rid of that one in a hurry, and there's a big double play.
Yeah, it almost looked like it was a changeup or something that he's able to get McHenry. And again, a catcher, you're looking for a double play. And the little changeup, so you can see him way out in front off the end of the bat. And then all of a sudden, Mark Reynolds leaps on. He's lost, what, about 19? I keep that the weight loss keeps going down. 15, 19, 20. Anyway, Buck Showalter told him, I want you to come in better shape, a little bit lighter, and he did it. See how that affects his power.
Now Presley with a runner on at third base and 2 down. Well, Reynolds is playing in at third.
Yeah. Well, again, with 2 outs, and even, Presley's a speed guy. We saw him flare that little single down the left field line and score the first run. So, again, this is a team that will bunt. You take the bunt away from him, force him to get a base hit.
And that's in the dirt. Good stop by Wieters. Presley expected to be the starter in the outfield. Nate McLouth has come back to the Pirates. So it'll be McLouth and Presley looking for the left field job. Maybe sharing some duties there.
Yeah, and then they got Jose Tabata, a young player that's signed for, I think, 3-year deal. They only have about 2 guys under contract for more than a year, and that's McCutcheon, who just signed the 6-year deal for over $50 million. Kind of in line with what Justin Upton and Jay Bruce of the Cincinnati Reds signed. Young players that are about 2-3 years away from being free agents.
And that pitch is taken, and the count goes to 3-1. Yeah, those are the only 2 players, the McCutcheon and Tabata, who have the big contracts, long-term contracts with the Pirates. Showalter up on that top step where he usually stands. Here's the 3-1 delivery and a roller that's going to go foul, so Mattis comes back, gets the 3-ball, 2-strike count. Runner at third base, 2 down, and a 2-1 ball game with the Pirates up.
And Buck Showalter, I don't know if he's talking to anybody, but I know he's talking to himself, and he said, this is a guy, if Brian Mattis is going to have some success, you need to get out. Lefty versus lefty. You get out of the inning. And again, it's only one of those little mini battles.
And a grounder towards the middle. That's going to be a tough play. Andino throws it and will not get him. That's all he could do. It'll be an infield hit, and again the speed of the Pirates comes into play as Presley gets a single, an RBI, and a 3-1 Pirate lead.
Yeah, you really got to know yourself. And again, Andino, terrific middle infielder, can play just about anywhere. And again, Presley with 2 strikes puts it in play, and good things happen when you have speed.
The Presley's 2 for 2 with an RBI and a run scored. He's on at first base with 2 away, and here's Harrison. He delivered the RBI double in the first inning. Josh Harrison, their shortstop. And this will take a look over.
Yeah, another thing about Brian Mattis is, can he control the running game? Very deliberate. He can be up there. You'd like to be 1.3, maybe as a left-hander 1.4 to the plate, and he's sometimes around 1.5, 1.7. And as good as Wieters throws, it's very difficult to throw runners out when you're that slow to get the ball to the catcher.
And Buck Showalter is very concerned about that. He considers that an absolute essential if you're going to pitch at the major league level. You've got to be able to hold runners on. And as he said it before, as far as he's concerned as a manager, if you can't do that, you can't pitch at the major league level. Breaking ball is in there for a strike, and it'll go to 0-1 with 2 down. Talked about the Orioles winning today. Real good pitching job by the Orioles. Brad Bergeson, Alfredo Simon, Miguel Skilovic, Zach Phillips. Each had 2 scoreless innings. They did not give up only 1 hit through the first 8. He's running. That'll be foul back. The Orioles beat the Jays in that day game today of the split squad by a score of 3-1. Joe Maloney, Ryan Flaherty, and Matt Antonelli had a pair of hits for the Birds in that game this afternoon. Buck and the whole staff went to that game and then came back for this one. Got back about 5 o'clock.
I think Buck forgot to put on the sunscreen. Beautiful day.
Don't want to do that
day here. Yeah, well, day game. Have to worry about it tonight.
0-2 delivery, and it's there. So that'll be strikeout number 3 for Brian Mattis, but another run is scored on 3 hits, and the Pirates extend the lead to 3-1. The palm trees out there in left field, and the bleacherites are out tonight on the 69-degree clear, beautiful evening after a gorgeous sunny day. It has been one of the warmest winters in Florida history. There's barely been a night where you would think it was winter. Temperatures have been 75, 80 during the day.
Have you had much rain?
No.
I live about, 175 miles, so we've had a little bit of rain over on the East Coast.
We haven't had any over here. No, we were in about a 5-year drought, actually. I mean, it's been gorgeous to be out, but rain is needed. Hopefully they'll have a summer where you get those thunder bumpers moving through daily and get some rain. Orioles bat here. Here's Ryan Adams. Adams trying to find a spot on this team. And that's going to go to the middle, and that's going to be a base hit. So Adams, who's in the DH role in this game, has a single, and the Orioles get the leadoff man on against JoJo Reyes.
Yeah, again, you talk about matchups. The one thing about Ryan Adams, I mean, again, he's been labeled maybe not that good a defensive second baseman, but he can hit. And he showed it last year, up the middle, right center. Didn't hit any home runs, but he's got double power. But a very solid bat. That type of guy, though, if you had maybe a little bit better pitching, a guy you'd like to be able to carry on your bench, because to me he'd be tough against left-handed pitching and a good guy to have to late in the ball game to make contact.
He offers some real positives for being on the bench. Here is Chris Davis, who will foul that one back. Davis, of course, is going to be the starting first baseman. He got 31 games in with the Orioles last year after coming over from Texas. I remember Buck Showalter before Davis was acquired from the Rangers, along with Tommy Hunter for Koji Uehara. We were in Boston and playing the Red Sox, and Showalter was in the office before the game, as he normally is, on the computer looking at numbers of his own players and other players. And he said, this Chris Davis guy, he said, every day I keep going to this guy's numbers. He said, I want him on our team. He likes the power, likes the extra base hits. There are strikeouts that come with it. He was just chewing up the minor leagues. And Showalter, who had some knowledge of him from others in the Texas organization, really made a push to get Chris Davis on this Orioles team.
Yeah, he got hurt down there because Mitch Moreland came along, and he doesn't have the kind of power, but a solid defender and hits left-handed pitching very well. But you're right about the strikeouts. About every 1 out of 3 at the big league level. But the one thing I saw last year, and again, he did get to play pretty much regular when he did come over to the Orioles, is I don't know if he's got to learn to hit the fastball on the inside part of the plate, which will allow him to hit the breaking ball, but he got a lot of change-ups and hooks.
Well, he's got that big cut.
Yeah, and it's an uppercut.
Yeah, a big uppercut, pronounced. You don't see a lot of those in the game anymore. He's played Major League Baseball 297 games, almost 300. And he's had 341 strikeouts. And as Jim said, you look at the walk ratio, it's 70 walks. 2-2 will go over to first base, and back is Adams.
Well, it goes back to what Adam Jones was saying. I said, well, what did Tony Gwynn, and again, 8-time batting titleist, Hall of Famer, talk about? He said, you got to have a plan. And he said, until you get to 2 strikes, which is the case here, he said, you can pretty much hit what you want to hit. But you can't try to hit everything. Because if you do, you kind of slide down towards the 185, which is what guys hit with 2 strikes, usually year in and year out. And now, of course, it's a little bit different when you get 2 and 2 strikes. You got to just scuffle and try to make contact.
Davis is going to get his chance, obviously, at first base for the Orioles, barring a substantial change in plans. JoJo Reyes on the mound. These pitchers will be working a couple of innings. That's the plan. At least the early pitchers we see in the game. You'll get some of the closers like Kevin Gregg will get an inning in. Davis with a 2-2 delivery, and he's going to take that to right field. That was in his wheelhouse. Adams will make the turn and stay as Marte will get it in, and the Orioles have the first 2 on here in the second inning. The Orioles have announced their early bird promotion schedule. It's a lot of fun giveaways, special events with the 20th anniversary at the Yard. 6 games throughout the year honoring Birdland greats like Brooks Robinson, Earl Weaver, Cal Ripken, and more. You can get a list of the upcoming promotions and lock in your tickets. 888-848-BIRD or go to Orioles.com. And here is Jay Miller, who we talked about in the open. Miller is making the start in right field. He's one of those on a relatively long list of players hoping for a utility role with the Orioles. Pittsburgh's going to play at 4, the bunt with nobody out, runners on at first and second base.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be bunting, not when you're down by 2 runs and you can hit with power. It's a little pickoff play. Well, you practiced it the last 2 weeks. Why not try it?
A lot of these spring games, as fans know, you'll make some of these plays even though you might not do it in a regular season game. Not that you wouldn't have done that, but you just want to get some experience making pickoff moves, playing for bunts. Runner's not going anywhere, and Miller will take the pitch up high for a ball.
Yeah, you saw his numbers last year. Again, the 32 home runs we showed you in the opening. Drove in over 80 runs. On base percentage was good. He got 12 at bats in September with Oakland. Did hit a home run, 3 hits. He had 250, but again, what impressed me today was the way he worked the field. Tried to hit the ball to right field, and there's a good pitch from JoJo Reyes. He's going to try to get ahead and then get him to roll over. Probably can hit the fastball with that kind of power. There's your inside fastball. Good pitch.
Reyes throwing a lot of strikes here. The Orioles picked up 3 hits so far and a big cut, and that one is going to be foul back. Last year, playing in Oakland, only 7 games. It was at Sacramento, AAA, where he put up the big numbers. He had played with Kansas City in 2010, but only 20 games there. So he only has 28 major league games that he has played in, and almost 950 minor league games that Miller's been involved in. He's 27 years old. 1 ball, 2 strikeout. Runners off first and second base. Reyes' delivery is whacked foul. And the skipper is joining us, Buck Showalter. Did you have a good time this afternoon, Skip?
Good, Gary. We had a great day over there. They told me at the end of the bottom second. Sorry.
That's quite all right. Any particular highlight you could mention about the afternoon game?
Well, we struck out 14 of the Rays. That was a good start for us against pretty much their normal lineup. I thought Mahoney had a good solid day at the plate. Ryan Flaherty, our Rule 5 pick, had a big hit to put the game out of reach. But we pitched real well. Threw a lot of strikes, a lot of first pitch strikes. Really good opening day with the pitching staff. Really fun to watch. 1 hit through the 8 innings.
How about the sunscreen?
I'm on my third layer right now.
Yeah, you're glowing.
Just text me. Well, I'm glowing from the pitching over there, I guess, as much as anything.
Hey, tell me about Brian Maddox. What do you let's forget last year because it's over. But what do you look for when you have a guy? Obviously you want him to be healthy and whatever. But what are you looking from Brian? Obviously not maybe the 6 hits and the 3 runs. But what are you looking for when you look at Brian this year? Well,
just trying to stay consistent in his delivery, get down the hill, and just his mental frame of mind as much as anything, and try to get some. Some positive body language and some things that, he and Rick Adair and everybody's been working on. He's had a great off season physically. And, I think he's going to make some strides and get back in the picture. Not that he isn't, but, Brian's worked very hard. He's been very diligent. He's had a great approach to everything, good look on his face. And, I think it bodes well for him. He's covered all the things that a young man needs to cover to give himself a chance to have success. And, just getting down the hill and getting his arm in the right area where he can give himself to be consistent in his delivery.
Are you concerned about the velocity as much as it's being talked and written about?
I'd be less than Frank if it isn't a concern. I tell you, his last outing, he was 90-92. I was a little surprised tonight. We'll check our guns, see what the board is. But, there's still, there's a little anxiety going there for him because he knows what he's capable of. He's healthy as a horse, and it's just, it'll happen for him if he trusts himself. And that's the big thing is making sure that he understands he has the ability. And a lot of time with young pitchers, when they hit their first bump in the road, Brian was the best pitcher in Little League, best pitcher in high school and college, and every minor league stop he made along the way. I think the thing we have to keep in mind about the number of innings he's actually thrown, and it's a learning experience.
And Dino's at the plate. He'll take it away. First and second occupied, and a 3-1 count.
You mentioned a name that a lot of people might hear about, our Rule 5 guy, Ryan Flaherty. And, I was looking at some of his numbers. Hits lefties well. He can play the outfield. He can play all over. You got to be pleased with his performance today.
It's a great testament to our scouts. They did a good job identifying someone that could potentially help us. And we like his ability to play different positions. We like his ability to swing the bat left-handed. Very smart young man, very focused, very serious. College coach's son. A lot of homework done on him to get to the point, and he's got a chance to make our club. Type of guy that should be taken in the Rule 5 draft.
Can you update us on Brian Roberts?
Things are going well. We're ahead, light years ahead of where we were probably in November and December. And the big thing is he's having good days without any setbacks, where he goes home at night, comes back in. Gary, all you got to do is watch him walk through the door and you know where he is, because the game means a lot to Brian, and the Baltimore Orioles mean a lot to Brian. And it's just great to see him smiling again, and you can tell how much he loves the locker room banner and being involved in the fundamentals that go on down here. And everybody's pulling for him. We're dealing with something that no one's an expert on, and we're trying to lean on what Brian tells us, what the experts say. But for a guy like Brian, you're willing to wait till everything's right. And you think about if it was your son, and first and foremost, we want him to have a healthy life and make sure that. And then if he can play baseball along the way, I think we all know what that means to the Baltimore Orioles. And no one's trying, and that can't possibly mean more to someone than Brian Roberts. This is a young man that played 150-plus games for a number of years and done a lot of great things for us. And, I like where he is now. I like the fact that he's had multiple good days. And, I look at the glasses being half full with him.
How about your right fielder? Look, Nick in the batting cage. Looks like he's coming along pretty well.
Well, we moved the locker room out a little bit, and they told me today when I got back from Tampa game that he put a couple on top of that building out there. But I know Mike, our video guy, was in there and said he thought it was raining. There were a couple balls that landed on it. But we just got to slow Nick down a little bit. He's a guy that needs about 2 weeks spring training tops, and he's in a great place right now. Our trainers have done a good job with him.
Yeah, he really did look good, and of course he said he'd love to play.
Yeah.
The other one,
he's probably getting a pickup game going back here tonight if I don't keep an eye on him. I keep looking around to see if he's loosening up.
And how about did Wayne Kirby let you see the watch that Nick gave him for the Gold Glove, help him win that Gold Glove?
Well, we had a lot of fun with that because, of course, Kirby let me see it about 35 times. I want to know what I got. And then, of course, John Russell just walked up to Wieters and looked at him and had Kirb's watch on and said, "Really? Really?" So, we'll see what you know, see what happens. That's a really nice thought, though. It was something that Nicky just walked in and did. And if anybody knows Nick Markakis, you know that doesn't surprise you.
All right, Skip, we are going to see Nolan Reimold now. We were talking about the leadoff spot. Reimold's got that for this game tonight. How much of a concern is that to you right now if Brian Roberts is not back?
You know, I don't know about concern. You know, it may not be conventional. You know, if you're comparing anybody to Brian Roberts, they're going to finish second. But, you know, I think I'm a little more concerned in the 4-hole right now than I am the 1-hole. I think we got people capable of doing it, especially without the DH tied up, that we're able to move some things around and put people in a position. Nolan brings a lot of things that you look for in a guy. He's one of the guys we're considering. I know we got 2 or 3 guys who are really hoping he is the guy because they don't want to be.
Mike, we really appreciate it. Thanks very much.
Hey, sorry I was late.
No, you're never late if you're on.
Exactly. If you're on time, you're late around here, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mike. Mike Showalter is giving the Orioles double duty day, of course, as he took the entire staff over to the Toronto game this afternoon, and then came back here tonight. As we said, they all got back about 5 o'clock and back in the dugout for this one. Doobie doing the pitching, and Nolan Reimold at the plate, grounded out his first time up. Runners on at first and second. Adam and Davis, the base runners. Nice block made by McHenry, and Adams will go back to second base. So Reyes had a pitch count that he was working with. He has reached that, and he's out of the ball game.
Yeah, so you match up, and it's the one thing about Nolan Reimold. You know, really good September. Got the little toe tap down. Last year the leg was too high. He said, no, I'm just going to tap my toe. A lot of the Rangers do that. We know how they can hit down there in Texas.
Game
sinker there. Yeah.
Good pitch. So the Orioles, no runs on a couple of hits. We'll leave a couple on when you come to Sarasota. St. Armand's Circle. Great place to go for a little shopping and a lot of great restaurants. It's located behind home plate. It's added Chick-fil-A to the menu to go along with the Boar's Head sandwiches and wraps. Other new food items this season at the ballpark include Baltimore favorite Bulldog Johnny's sausage, soft-shell crab sandwiches, grilled salmon sandwiches, fried clam strips, fried shrimp baskets, and a whole lot more. Cafe 54. Kevin Gregg has come on to do the pitching.
22 saves last year. The master, Captain Chaos. Chaos, that was his nickname. He said, I'm going to earn it, and he did.
And a sharp base hit into center field right there. Navarro, after the first pitch, he had grounded out his first at bat.
Yeah, we saw Navarro when he was with the Red Sox. Free swinger, line drive hitter. Again, Kevin Gregg, 59 innings, 57 hits, 40 walks, a lot of base runners.
But the question, of course, who's going to be the closer? Everyone believes it's going to be Jim Johnson.
Yeah,
Gregg is not happy about that. Thinks he still should have a shot at it, and does. But right now, it certainly would appear as though Jim Johnson, if that back stays healthy, and he says it is now, that Jim will be is at the moment the expected closer for the Orioles.
Yeah, I saw Jim, of course, avid golfer, can't golf. A little herniation in there, so working hard on all the core exercises.
Matt Haig lifts that one into left field. That ball was tagged, going back near the warning track, and goodbye, home run. Matt Haig now has 3 RBIs in the ball game and a single and a 2 RBI homer.
Yeah, again, a terrific year last year down at AAA, and I don't know too many good hitters in the minor leagues that can't hit the fastball. He tries to come in, stays over, really quick bat. Look how short the bat head is to the ball. And again, one of those nights you can see it sails out of here, wind blowing probably about 8-10 miles per hour directly out to center field.
Kevin gave up 7 home runs in the 59 innings that he worked last year, but a couple of hard hit balls to start this 3rd inning here in Sarasota. Here's Pedro Alvarez. Alvarez, a strikeout victim, his first time up, but another player in this lineup who's not only got some speed but a little pop to go with it, and will foul that one back.
Well, again, we talked about the injuries. Again, the quad, #1 draft choices. We mentioned high signing bonus, 16 home runs. Got hurt last year, dropped to 4. Batting average, middle 260s, under 200. Sent to the minor leagues. Little different workout program. His agent Scott Boras, as he goes down on strikes, so more agility, lost about 10-15 pounds, and did what most people are doing nowadays, the core exercises, trying to get stronger.
Well, Alvarez is out of there, gets the strikeout for the first out. That'll bring up Gorkys Hernandez. Hernandez also a strikeout victim, his first time up. Tries to lay down the bunt, brings Reynolds in at third base, and takes a look down to see where he was after he missed it. Where does Greg fit if he is not the closer? Is he a setup pitcher? Long relief a little earlier in the ball game? That's to be answered here in spring training. Well, there's any question, one of the potential for the Orioles is that maybe the strongest part of the ball club to start is going to be middle relief.
Yes.
They've got some real good pitchers to choose from.
But again, and there's a good cutter, and Hernandez, I believe it's strike 3. Yeah. He stumbles out of the box.
But with even if the middle relief happens to be good, Buck Showalter has repeated over and over again this spring, the starters have got to go 5, 6 or more innings in a ball game. This 4 1/3 stuff just doesn't cut it, because no matter how good your middle relief is, they are worn out by the end of June or at the All-Star break.
Yeah, we saw that last year. I thought actually that the numbers went down as the year went on, and it didn't.
It didn't.
And again, the September numbers, the only month they were able to win more than they lost, the ERA was close to 5 runs a game. And that's what it pretty much was for the whole year, 505, worst in the American League.
Saw Lindstrom, he's one of those looking for one of those spots.
But those guys are all 1 inning guys, as you mentioned. The guys that are, Bergeson could be a long man. Same with Jason Burkett. Jason Hamill, if he's not a starter, certainly a guy that could do that. And the rest of them are going to be 1 inning guys. And what you try to do is sequence your way through the back end of your bullpen if you have a lead, and you don't have a lead if you don't get good starting pitching.
All comes back to that. 2 down, nobody on, and a couple of runs in on the homer by Matt Haig, and Garrett Jones will take it. He singled and scored. Harrison's had an RBI. Haig has got 3 in the ball game, and Alex Presley has the other one, as the Pirates 5 runs and 8 hits in the ball game. The Orioles 1 and 3. Haig's delivery and a wild cut taken, and that will retire the side on strikeouts, in fact, but the homer by Haig has put the Pirates out on top. They should take a look at some of the artwork near the Ringling Museum. As Dan Duquette has taken over this season. There's a brief resume of the work that he has done, including that with the Red Sox 94 through 01. And he joins us here in the booth for our first broadcast. Dan, great to have you with us.
Glad to be with you guys. It really is.
How are you?
I'm glad to be back. Glad to be back at a game in spring training.
Yeah, I hear you. Look, you have to jump into the middle when every time you take a job like you have taken with the Orioles, where things have gone on before and people had ideas and plans, etc. Where are you in the context of what are you trying to get done now with the Orioles?
Well, I think it was pretty clear what we needed to do. We needed to upgrade our pitching staff and have a decent starting rotation. And I think that we're going to have a much better starting rotation this year from the maturation of the young guys that we have and then a couple of guys we brought along. Jason Hamels, I think, is going to be very helpful in that regard. I got high hopes for Zach Britton and Jake Arrieta to come back, and also Brian Mattis, who we saw tonight. And I'm anxious to see a little bit more of these two kids we signed from Japan, Wada and Chen. And I think, the core of our team is pretty decent. Our run production will be fine. We could tighten up our interior defense a little bit. But it really comes down to the starting pitching. If we have some dependable, solid starting pitching, I think we'll have a pretty good year.
So how do you see Wada and Chen? Are they two guys? I mean, Wada's had some elbow problems, but he's had that before. Most people, I saw him throwing aside about 10 days ago. Does remind me of Jamie Moore. Now, if he can win, 270 games, then we'll really be good there. And then Chen seems to be a little bit more of a hard thrower.
He'll make a believer out of you with just a few more wins.
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
But Wada's a change-up pitcher. He won 16 games last year, and he was the pitcher of the year in 2010 in Japan. And he is a curveball changeup pitcher. I mean, that's what he does well. He's got very good control. You can see it in his walk strikeout ratio. And I like him. He's very smart, and he knows what he's got to do to get the hitters out. He studies the game. Chen has got a little bit better stuff. He's got a harder fastball. He's got a hard breaking breaking ball. And he's a little bit younger, but he's got good credentials too. He's from Taiwan, and he was the pitcher of the year before in 2009. So they're both well credentialed, and I think they both have the stuff. It really depends, I think, on how quickly they can get comfortable. The reliever that we had here, who's the reliever?
Uehara?
Yeah, Uehara. It took him a little while to get comfortable, but after he got comfortable, he did a good job, and I think that's what it'll be like for these guys.
Do you see Chen and Wada as starters, or one of each, one bullpen, one
Well,
start?
I think they can both start. Wada threw over 200 innings last year, and then he threw almost 200 the year before. Chen has averaged around 170 innings. I like Chen's stuff. I think Wada is a little bit more intelligent and precise in his control. And I think that Chen is more of a power pitcher. But he has good control, too. I mean, the guy's got a good delivery.
Johnny Damon.
Where is Johnny Damon?
Well, nowhere right now, watching TV at home. Perhaps that's where he wants to be. I don't know. But you get asked. I know you get asked this all the time. The Orioles have any interest?
Yeah, I like Johnny Damon. I've always liked Johnny Damon. And I know that he's anxious to get a job because he's only a couple of hits from 3,000, right? And that'd be the calling card to join.
Yeah, he's somewhere, I think, right around, 27, 80, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So
he needs a 2-year deal.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I like Johnny Damon. He's always been a dependable player. You never know. I mean,
you're not saying no.
No, I mean, I like him. He's a good veteran player. He's got leadership ability. He's good in the clubhouse. And
well, you passed on Manny Ramirez, so maybe we'll go with.
Shall we say thank you, by the way?
Well, I mean,
send him to Oakland.
I like those guys. I like to sign them when they're a little bit younger, frankly, to help the Orioles.
Runner on at first base here with one away and a 1-ball, 2-strike count on Mark Reynolds. Mark delivered an RBI double his first time up. The big cut right there is going to get him. How much of what you can do with this ball club for the season depends on whether Brian Roberts is able to play or not?
Well, I hope he's able to play. If he's not able to play, we've made some other acquisitions to give us some depth in the middle of the infield, and I think Indino emerged. He made a nice play going off the middle early in the game. But these two kids that we picked up, Matt Antonelli and Ryan Flaherty, one's a left-handed hitter, the other's a right-handed hitter. They're both very capable infielders, and they can both play in the middle of the diamond. Flaherty can play shortstop and second base, and Antonelli can play second and third. So I like them to help our ball club because they're good, solid ball players. They're good on base guys, and they can contribute both offensively and defensively. So, of course, we'd love to have Brian Roberts back, but we did get a little bit more infield depth in picking up those two guys, and they're both former #1 picks, which speaks to their ability.
A 1-ball, 1-strike count, 2 away at first base. Hardy will do the leadoff walk. Wilson's pitch is going to be taken up high, and Matt Wieters at the plate. Matt grounded out to third his first time up.
Now, how much did you get to see of Matt Wieters over the last 3-4 years? I asked you this question 10 days ago. What have you been doing? You got the Sports Academy, baseball in Israel, you got the Independent League team. Did you get to see Matt, or did you see much of him when he was a college player and then early on in the minors? It's been nothing routine out there in right field tonight.
Yeah, I didn't know how he lost that first ball.
Nor did Clint Hurdle.
We're going to have to let the last question hang, so you'll have a couple of days to think about it.
Thanks, guys. I'll answer that next time I get back, Jerry.
Yeah, thanks very much. Dan Duquette joining us, Charge of Baseball Operations with the Orioles. Quiet life. And here in Sarasota, a little bocce ball could go a long way at the stadium gallery heading towards downtown. Boy, what a winter it's been here, and just a beautiful night for our opener here. And here's Matt Lidstrom. This is one of the pitchers we were talking about who's expected to fill one of those relief roles.
Yeah, you trade Jeremy Guthrie to get him and Jason Hamels, power pitcher, splitter, used to throw close to 100 miles per hour. In the mid-90s, watched him throw the other day. Power arm, got a lot of stuff going on with the windup. So again, there's 94, pretty good swing.
Good cut taken. This is the right fielder who's had a night of wandering amidst the gloom out there, and there isn't any, but you'd think there would be. But he's made plays. He had one he should have caught that he didn't. Starling Marte had a single his first time up, and he'll take the Lidstrom pitch. I mean, Lidstrom really comes to the Orioles with a job. If he's not in the bullpen for the Orioles, then it would be a situation of where he simply lost a position that the Orioles really had him penciled into. And stuff like that is the reason why.
Well, he's always, again, been a hard thrower. Sometimes it gets a little bit out of his windup. But again, can you keep the front shoulder closed? Little slider just off the plate. And again, what the most good young hitters have in common, they can hit the fastball. Trouble with the breaking ball.
He'll miss that one away. He's a veteran, 32 years old. He's been around in the major league. He's pitched 312 games, and every one of them has been in the bullpen. As a career, 3.81 earned run average. Was with Colorado last year for 63 games. And now gets a shot at it here with the Orioles. And will bounce that one as he keeps looking down his landing spot here. And a 2-ball, 2-strike count.
Yeah, one of the difficulties of spring training, again, when what we've already seen, this is the 6th pitcher, is you're landing a lot of holes out there. But again, that's usually something you take care of early on. You know, smooth it out, try to find a landing place where you're not going to be slipping.
Marte hits it hard. He's got a base hit. He can hit. So he's had 2 singles in the ball game, a leadoff single here. The Junior Orioles Dugout Club Birdland's best value in family entertainment is back. Kids 14 and under, 10 games. Exclusive club hat, the membership card, backpack, and more. It's only $20. Exclusive giveaway items at each game. Family and friends get tickets starting as low as $6 and a chance to upgrade to the lower deck. Find out more about the Junior Orioles Dugout Club. 888-848-BIRD or Orioles.com/Dugout Club. Some of the kids on hand here tonight. An actual light jacket night here in Sarasota. It's 69 degrees at game time, one of the few nights it's been that cool. They're running. Weeder's up. He guns it, and not in time. Well, Marte's got the stolen base, and Clint Hurdles talked about the speed, and now he's using it early.
Well, not only did he lead the Eastern League in batting average and hits, he had 24 steals, so the high throw, and again, he easily beats it. What a quick bat this youngster has.
So a runner now in scoring position with Marte on the stolen base. McHenry, the number 9 hitter, hit into a double play his first time up. Still nobody out.
And let's see if he's able to get the ball to the right side. Scoreboard tells you like to add runs.
Will take the strike. Reynolds had moved in even with third base on the play. We'll back up here. No sign of bunt being shown, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count. First of 6 televised games that we'll have for you on Masson from Sarasota, beautiful Ed Smith Stadium. They hold the runner as close as they can here, and the pitch will be away. Everybody that has been here, including the Oriole players, just marveling at the work done on the administrative office building. You see the delivery.
Now you can see how far left he comes, so he'll be more comfortable away from right-handers into lefties.
That's the building that was redone in the offseason. It's where the Orioles clubhouse is. It's where the offices for the manager, of course, coaches and administrators is at, and it is absolutely beautiful. And they've done a job on it. It's as good as many major league facilities.
Yeah, a lot of the some of the players that actually trained in Arizona, some of the new facilities, were just talking how special this is.
They did a great job, and the construction workers are being honored here tonight. A lot of them are in attendance. Get tickets for this ball game from the Orioles for the work they did.
Yeah, Oriole clubhouse man Jimmy Tyler took me 2 days to find him.
It's a lot of room. I mean, how about that workout room?
Oh, it's
man,
forever.
That
we could get in shape in there, Gary.
Well, easy now. You can speak for yourself. I don't want to be part of that because
no,
I'm not sure there's any room big enough for that. And there you see it. That's the Oriole headquarters, and you get a look at some of the work that was done inside Baseball Operations Center. There are
birds in there.
There are tickets tonight. 750 tickets for workers from 50 different companies that were on hand for the ball game tonight. 3-ball, 2-strike count. And Lidstrom's pitch. Heater riding in is foul back. Count stays at 3-2. McHenry battling Lindstrom here in this at bat. The number 9 hitter with Presley waiting on deck. See, Hardy's moved in fairly close. The shortstop trying to keep Marte close to the bag. He will take off for third if he thinks he can get a good jump. Lidstrom again with a 3-2 delivery, and that'll go to short. Hardy will be able to hold the runner and get the out. Kendry retired. With Lidstrom out there, we mentioned his name as far as the bullpen's concerned. Jim, a lot of names for the pen.
Well, I mean, again, word is that Ayala will make the team. Greg, should make the team. Jim Johnson should make the team. So again, you know, if you look, there is Lindstrom, as you mentioned. They trade Jeremy Guthrie to get Lindstrom and Hamels. O'Day, when he's healthy, he's had a terrific year. Troy Patton pitched well. Phillips pitched well today. And then Stroop comes over from Texas and was as good as anybody last year.
That ball hit in the air to the gap in right center field. Presley got a lot of that one. He will split the outfield. He's digging for 3. Relay throw is bobbled, and he's got a triple and an RBI. Alex Presley's 3 for 3. 2 RBIs, 2 singles, a triple, and a run scored.
Yeah, flare to left, the grounder up the middle, and then a bullet. And you can see again, Wieters reaches forward down the middle, up the gap, and I mean, this is a triple right out of the box.
Presley wants to make sure that outfield position is his.
Yep.
And it's clear, as we mentioned earlier, the Pirates did hear their manager.
Well,
they're focused tonight.
Well, they have, and you know, and again, this is a team. I mean, Clint Hurdle, they only won 57 games in 2010. They won 15 more last year, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
They were in first place on July 15th, and then had a horrible August. Their pitching coach Ray Searage said the pitchers lost their legs. A lot of young pitchers, not used to pitching that long. And of course, they went out and got Bedard. They went out and got A.J. Burnett, but he fouled a ball off his right orbital, part of his face, and underneath his eye, and he'll be out for what, 8 to 12 weeks.
Yeah, that's
a big blow. Charlie Morton's got a hip problem. He won 10 games for him.
So the structuring of the pitching staff for Clint Hurdle is in a second go around for the Pirates. Infield is in, runner at third base. Orioles will try and cut the run off. Josh Harrison, he has doubled in a run and struck out in the ball game. Harrison looking down to third here. Orioles on all occasions where they've had a chance to move the infield in have done that, but Showalter clearly working on that early in spring training. And that breaking ball is going to miss outside, and Lindstrom will walk him. First and third now with only 1 out.
Now batting the second baseman, number 36, Yamiko Navarro.
Yamiko Navarro. Was deemed to be all right and came back to the club, but it was a little scary moment, so we're happy to hear that Travis Adair is all right and back with the minor league team. Dad was on hand for that, as he was over for that game this afternoon against the Jays.
Yeah, boy, it's difficult to. I think one of the amazing things that all the years I played never got hit. You really do have to pay attention. You can't ever relax because balls are flying all over the place.
Navarro first and third. Harrison at first base. Will he go here with only 1 away? A big cut. Navarro was geared up for a heater in that first pitch, and that's what he got, and he took a full cut at it.
Again, fastball, probably looking for it. Little toe tap. Good pitch. Good location. Good velocity.
Lindstrom got it by him.
Yeah, maybe a slider here. Try to get a double play. You're looking for a ground ball.
Runner goes. Foul back. So he tried to hit behind him.
Yeah.
Second baseman Andino had moved over to cover the bag. And he tried to put the ball where he was.
Yeah, Harrison's got a little bit of speed, so there's 2 kind of plays. You can either hit and run, or you can run and hit. A lot of times when you run and hit, you don't have good speed. You just make sure that he has to put the ball in play. I think that's one of those situations. If Navarro didn't hit it, he probably might have stole the base. Got a great jump.
Yeah, he was off and flying. So the Pirates came into the spring advertised as a team built around speed, and they certainly are showing that in this game. Here's the 0-2 delivery with the runner not going, and there's a tapper. Hardy's got it. He'll have to take a hard flip. Can't do it. Goes to first and doesn't get him there either. That'll be an infield hit and an RBI. as Navarro beats it out for his second hit, and the Pirates add another 7-1.
Yeah, another speed play. Again, it's a good slider. It's down in the zone. Right here, thinking double play, but then again, because Harrison runs well, can't get it out of his glove, can't get the play at second, and because of the speed of Navarro, breaking ball away out of the box quickly, he gets himself a base hit.
That's 10 hits now on the board for the Pirates. They've got runners at first and second base. And Matt Haig has been a big part of that. He has singled and homered. He's got 3 RBIs on the board already in this ball game, and we are only in the 4th inning. So the Pirate bats have really come alive in this ball game. 26-year-old at Indianapolis, enormous numbers for him last year with a 12 home runs, 75 RBIs. He led the league in hits. And will take the pitch. And there was a strike on the outside corner, 0-2. So Lidstrom having a tough inning here in the 4th. Mattis, Gregg, and now Lindstrom have been on the mound for the Orioles. And there is Steve Johnson warming up in the bullpen. 0-2. Hardy will get another shot at it. And he bobbled again. There's one. And scooped, dropped, hits the runner, and a run will score. So Josh Harrison will score from second base. They got the force out at second on Navarro. That will be an error, I suspect, on the throw.
Yeah, because it bounces. Again, I'm not sure if this ball just comes up a little bit. Again, he just could not get a handle on it. You know, you talked about how good the weather is. Not much humidity tonight. Clear air, dirt on the ball, not a good combination. That's a ball that they usually turn out of the inning. And instead of 8-1, it's 7-1.
It is an error that allows the run to score. They are going to credit a single apparently to Haig, and then the error on the throw allowing the run in. That's going to go to second. Andino will make the flip, and that will retire the side as Alvarez gets into the fielder's choice. But 3 more added by the Pirates. They have scored in all 4 innings and now have an 8-1 lead. Go. The cutting of the ribbon for the Miracle League field, the brand new one, is now in operation. The Pirates and the Orioles donated $150,000 towards the construction of this field for children and adults who have special needs and want to play ball. And the Orioles heavily involved in it. You saw Bob Mitchell, who's headed up the effort here in the area, and the Orioles' Jim Johnson has over the last 2 years been the major sponsor of a golf tournament where the Orioles have participated, players and coaches and managers, to help raise money. And then a week ago, Saturday, they had the ribbon cutting, and that's wonderful for the Miracle Field that is now open. I'll tell you, you really, when you meet some of the youngsters and adults who are involved in that, are they excited. Here's Justin Wilson. The numbers from AAA Indianapolis.
Yeah, nice year. 21 of the 30 games starts, and you could see 94 and 6'2", 220, easy 94, 95. Power arm. So the last 2 years, 11 wins at AA. Last year, 10-8 down at AAA Indianapolis.
Orioles' Ryan Adams leading it off. Adams had a single his first time up. The Orioles run on a Reynolds double in the first inning. 8 runs, 11 hits for the Pirates. A run on 3 hits for the Orioles. Ryan Adams, the DH. There is Darren O'Day taking his warm-ups in the bullpen. Another one of the names that the Orioles look to have in that pen come the regular season. It's fouled away by Ryan Adams.
Yeah, very effective for Texas. We saw him a couple of years where low ERAs. You know, last year a hip problem on that front leg, that left hip.
Earthworms beware
yep.
when he pitches. Do not stick your head up. He may clip it.
Well, I was talking to him. I sat next to him at the Fan Fest this year. I said, "You ever throw overhand?" He said, "Not well." And we'll see him.
Here's the 1-2 delivery, and that's a chopper. It's fair. Wilson. One away, bottom of the 4th inning. Experience Camden Yards in an exciting new way when you pick up an Oriole Park 5-bagger suite program. The 5 baggers for you at one low price. You get catered suite 5 games, 2 against the Yankees, Red Sox or Phillies, parking, VIP treatment. No better way to entertain clients or colleagues and make a statement. So check it out. It's the Oriole Park 5-bagger suite program at 410-547-6173. Fumble. I dropped that. Was that an error on me? Drop the copy on the floor. That's better than dropping the coffee on the floor. Here is Chris Davis. Davis had a single his first time up.
Yeah, JoJo Reyes hung a curveball. I don't think he's going to get a hanger here. You can see that hanging curveball sped up the bat right there, 94. See if you can hit it.
Davis with that monster cut. A lot of these power hitters, spring training can be tough because generally the wind blows in the games. And usually, this ballpark at least, it's not favorable to lefties. But tonight, on that at bat, it's not going to matter. 2 down.
How about Julio Teheran? Let's take a look right here. Who pitches for Atlanta? He pitches against the Tigers yesterday. Gives up 6 home runs in 2 innings. Tigers hit 9 home runs.
Get him out of the way early if you're the pitcher. Just get him out of the way.
I thought you were talking about the Tigers there. They're going to get him out of the way all year long.
Yes, they are.
Prince Fielder now. Of course, they do lose Victor Martinez with his 103 batting average, or 103 RBIs and 330 batting average. But Fielder might help them a little bit.
Rainmaker, first base. Or second. And Navarro. Anything out towards right field has been a major problem when it's up in the air tonight, wind or no wind. It's the Pirates over the Orioles, 8-1. both game days and non-game days. Features an expanded selection of merchandise featuring the Orioles cartoon bird logo. Check it out when you're there and fill up your gear box. Support the O's. My grandson helped the cause last year at the gift store, I'll tell you that. Here's Darren O'Day.
Yep, again, Submariner last year hurt, the hip problem 2 years before. ERA is just right around 2 back-to-back years for the Rangers. So again, very deceptive, good sinker, a little bit of a breaking ball with a changeup.
Lightning in a bottle is how it's being described around the Orioles camp so far when you talk about Lidstrom and you talk about O'Day. And even when you talk a little bit about Flaherty, there are some players the Orioles know have got some ability, and they're just hoping they're going to be able to catch them at a year where they're going to be healthy and able to do the things that they have done in the past. And O'Day is one of those that the Orioles hope physically now be ready to go again and perform as he did a couple of years ago. And he does drop down and bring it. Borges Hernandez. He has struck out twice. Even though the Pirates have got 8 runs and 11 hits, he has not been involved in the offense yet. After the 5th, we'll get to see probably some of the other players for both the Orioles and Pirates who are on this roster for the game. That'll be fouled off, picked up by Reynolds in foul territory, and a 2-strike count. Real nice crowd on hand here tonight in Sarasota for the opener here in this ballpark for the 2012 spring training season. The 0-2 delivery, and he got him.
Yeah, that's a little breaking ball. The illusion that it actually goes up. Most breaking balls you get on top. Again, it's like a frisbee just sliding away. Again, well located just off the outside corner.
O'Day gets the strikeout. Here's Garrett Jones, who single scored. He too has been a strikeout victim. He will be one of the regular starters for the Pirates during the regular season.
Yeah, especially against right-handed pitching. 14 of those 16 home runs against righties. Only hit 147 against lefties. So when he gets a hit like he did the first time off of Garrett Jones, off of Brian Mattis, all of a sudden Clint Hurdle pays attention. Kind of interesting. It's the same old story. Most lefties, they go, well, I don't get to see a lot of left-handed pitching. And again, I pull off when I really should, as Mo Vaughn did, Palmeiro, some of the great left-handed hitters that Darryl Strawberry, who you saw when you were doing the Met games, think left center. And that's what Garrett Jones was trying to do this spring. Against left-handed pitching. Of course, here
you want to whale one.
Well, he can do that.
He can do that. A 2-0 count. O'Day with the delivery. Gets one to ride away from him. He didn't think it was in there. And a called strike. Jones will meander a little, and the count goes to 2-1. Marte waiting on deck. 72 wins, 90 losses last year for the Pirates. Orioles Buck Showalter, it's about progressing. As far as the wins are concerned. That's on the outside corner for a strike. Didn't like that one as well, and turns around to have a little discussion with Bill Welke, the home plate umpire.
Yeah, did a little George Foster where he goes out and almost walks to the outside corner.
I think we're going to have some substitutes coming in by the looks of that discussion. John Russell will be the bench coach, of course, again for the Orioles. Moving back Showalter to keep track of what's going on. The Orioles have added DeMarlo Hale as the third base coach from the Red Sox. Bill Castro's the bullpen coach. Rick Adair back pitching. Wayne Kirby at first. Jim Presley the hitting coach. And he got fooled on that. Nubs it foul outside of first base.
Yeah, a little kind of a double swing there. Wait a minute.
Rick Peterson has been
right
added
there,
too, I should mention.
Butch David, minor league coach.
he is. One of the minor league coaches, at least for the first week and up until the start of these games, have a chance to be with the Major League Ball Club. Some will continue to do so, but many will be headed to the minor league camp now with the minor league players reporting. 2-ball, 2-strike delivery. And inside. So he takes it full.
Scotty McGregor stopped by, who will be down here. His job this year he'll be down in Sarasota over the course of the summer for guys that need to do rehab.
That's too bad.
He did a terrific job with the Orioles last year.
Tough place to be in Sarasota for the summer. 3-ball, 2-strike delivery on the way. He'll have to visit that #1 beach while he's down here.
Siesta Key?
Siesta Key.
How do you know that area very well?
Somewhat, yes. Tell you about
something wrong with this picture. I'm going to drive about 180 miles to get home tonight, and
yes.
You're going to go how far? What, about 10 miles?
Yeah, not that. No,
oh, okay.
Maybe 5. Just from getting his running in on the one of the other practice fields. 3-2 delivery on the way, and that's going to be inside. So he works a walk out of that after taking a couple of called strikes. Take a look at the Orioles. These are projections, of course, and a lot depends on Brian Roberts, but that's infield-wise what the Orioles hope it will look like. The battle that goes on is with a lot of players looking for a job. Pretty safe to say Taylor Teagarden will be the backup catcher. Then you got Ryan Adams, Wilson Betterman, Antonelli, Flaherty, Nick Johnson with a left-handed bat. Joe Mahoney is having a good early start. You got a lot of players who are looking for a utility role as a backup, either infielder or outfielder.
Yeah, you saw the glowing numbers from Ryan Flaherty, and remember, as a Rule 5 guy, you pay $50,000. He's not on the 40-man roster to keep him. Otherwise, the Cubs would be able to get him back for $25,000. You have to keep him on the Major League roster, your 25-man roster all year long.
That's going to be in the hole for a base hit, so Marte's got another one. Well, his play in right field has been somewhat less than spectacular, but he's 3 for 3 at the plate. Has a stolen base and a run scored, and the Pirates have runners at first and second with 1 down.
Well, I just think how exciting it is for him. You win a batting title, it's Double-A. You get a chance to play here at the big league level, even though it's only spring training. So that 332, not a fluke last year.
No. Well, Marte on again, and the Pirates now with 12 hits. McHenry, starting behind the plate, is hit into a double play and grounded out. O'Day on the mound for the Orioles. Infield looking for the double play. Pull back a little bit on that, and the pitch is going to miss down low for a ball. Pirates have brought their bats with them. And a check swing, foul tipped, and into the mitt for a strike.
Again, the breaking ball, and he's just trying to stay on it, and you can see unable to pick up the spin.
Pirates lost their first 2 spring training games. They started early. They lost 7-1 and 8-5, both against the Blue Jays. And that is going to be in there for a strike.
Yeah, the one thing you talked about lightning and trying to catch it in a bottle. I mean, the one thing about Darren O'Day is that if he's healthy, he's been a terrific setup man. I mean, he did it back-to-back years. He did it, maybe it's the American League West where you don't have a lot of great offensive teams, but he did it in a hitter's ballpark at least half the time. So his track record is a good one.
He was very important 2 years ago to Texas's drive. As he came out of the bullpen in special situations with men on base to get strikeouts, and then also would start innings, as Jim said, as a setup man. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Off first and second. Runners halfway. Jones has got it, and they'll go back to the bag. Henry is retired, second out of the inning, and does not get the runners moved up. So 2 down. And we'll get our first bench player. Robbie Grossman is going to come on and hit in the leadoff spot for Alex Presley. Presley with a real good ball game. Presley went 3 for 3, 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored. He had a triple and a couple of singles. And now Grossman will take his spot in the leadoff role. Runners on at first and second base. Pirates have a number of minor league players that have made the trip for this ball game tonight. Grossman is not one of them. He's in their major league roster. Breaking ball missed down low. Wieters the throw. Davis coming in behind but not in time. Marte at first base jumping off a little bit, so Wieters thought he had a chance to go behind him.
Yeah, Grossman last year, their minor league player of the year. Walked 104 times. And of course played just up the road in Bradenton.
One of their young players that, after having a good year, gets an opportunity early in spring training to get a few at bats with a big club. Today with a 2-0 delivery, and he'll take it for a strike. 2 ball, 1 strike count, 2 down. The Pirates have had at least 1 run in each of the innings so far in this game. They have not scored here in the 5th. O'Day with a 2-1 delivery. There's that changeup.
Yeah, they don't do that in A ball. Fastball count, just pulls the string. I mean, quite a distinction for Robbie Grossman. You got to go all the way back to Nick Swisher, the last guy that had 100 runs scored and 100 walks in the minor leagues in the same year. He was able to do that.
2-2. That's going to miss outside.
Of course, if my memory serves me well, I think that was when Nick Swisher played for the A's at AAA Sacramento.
Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Runners will be going. Jones at second base. Marte at first. And a slow roller. Reynolds will try and cut it off. Let it go. Hardy, and does not get him more speed. Back to second, and that's going to go into center field. Jones will score. Marte will score. And down to second base goes Grossman. And 2 more runs are in for the Pirates. And again the speed. When Reynolds couldn't cut it, Hardy couldn't make the play at first in time. They thought they had the runner taking a little too big a rounding at second base, and it didn't work.
And again, the Grossman speed sets it all up. And right here, you're throwing on the run. A little bit behind Robert Andino. And here comes runs 9 and 10.
So an error will be charged on the throw back to second base that allows the runs to score. Runner at third, Jones had already held up. He wasn't going anywhere until that ball got away into center field. Adam Jones came in to try and help out at second base. Now a runner at second, a 10-1 ball game with 2 down. And the breaking ball is in there for a strike.
One of those lack of focus games if you're Clint Hurdle, the way he looked at his club, and after they made 3 errors in that 8-5 loss you talked about.
Villarreal is up in the bullpen for the Orioles. Pirates now continue to put runs across in every inning of this ball game, and that one is going to be ripped foul. Boy, did he get into that one. First at bat in the ball game for DeArnold. Chase DeArnold, backup infielder, taking over for Josh Harrison. DeArnold with a 2-strike count. Grossman credited with a single, moves down to second base on the error, and DeArnold got fisted on that one, and that will end up into the Orioles dugout on the foul ball. 10 runs on 13 hits for the Pirates.
An assortment of all kinds. Soft, hard. The Orioles certainly not playing as well defensively.
Orioles with the 2 errors in the ball game, and they've been very costly errors, allowing for those 2 runs in this inning. And back in the 4th inning, helping to push across the run. 2-strike count. And that's the strikeout that will end the inning, but the damage done. 2 more runs are in on a couple of hits and a very big error. St. Armand's Circle, where the night fight goes on and on and on and on and on. Beautiful beach. That's towards the harbor, which is downtown. Ed Smith Stadium, not far from the center city location. And great to have you with us for our first broadcast of Orioles baseball there in spring training. A good crowd on hand here at Ed Smith Stadium. And a beautiful night for baseball, but it has been all about the Pirates as they've got the 10-1 lead. And Jared Hughes will come on to pitch.
Yeah, 3 levels last year, and that's the numbers with the Pirates. Pitched at Altoona, where he started, went to Indianapolis, their AAA, pitched very well out of the bullpen. So again, they have a closer. Joel Hanrahan had 40 saves, so the back end of the bullpen, you just need guys to get to your closer. I'm sure Clint Hurdle will pay attention here.
So Jared Hughes will face Andino. Robert Andino's had only 1 at bat, flied out to right field. Take a look at this Pirate offense tonight for their players. Their starters got 3 at bats through the first 4 innings, so Clint Hurdle started making the changes. Jared Hughes delivery, sinker that's going to miss down low. The 26-year-old out of Los Angeles. 1 ball, 1 strike count on Andino. When last we left you, Robert Andino was at Camden Yards celebrating. The Boston Red Sox have added his name to the list of those they will never forget.
Well, he beat him. He beat Papelbon twice in the last week of the season. Orioles winning 5 of 7 games. The bases loaded double down the line in Fenway, and then the single to left that Crawford couldn't come up with.
Big hop handled. Ooh. And Andino almost beat that one out.
Well, the shortstop, and of course we are in spring training, number 3.
Number 1 in your heart, though.
Well, he must have a good. He knows he has a good arm because he took his time, and as you mentioned, Robert almost beat it out.
DeArnott, who came on to hit in the last inning, has stayed on to play at shortstop. So DeArnott at short. Here is Reimold. Oriole bats real quiet here tonight. He has grounded out and struck out. Reimold to start in left field. Hughes with the 0-1 pitch to him. Boy, that had some nice sink down.
Well, you're right. Yeah, you know, one of those. He's got a very compact windup, stays closed, and then all of a sudden you can see a little bit of a short arm, just turns it over. And again, a 91-mile-per-hour sinker down in the zone is going to get a lot of people out.
And nope, didn't go around. Close to being a strike in any event. It'll go in 1-2. 1-2 count on Reimold. Pirates had some real hopes. They felt, based on the first half of last season, even though it fell apart on them in the second half, that they've got some players who can get the job done. And if, in fact, there's a new wild card added to each league, another opportunity to make it, and they've got some hopes.
Yeah, well, the Cardinals, of course, they win the World Series, but they lose Pujols. They get Wainwright back.
New manager, front office really starting to have its effect on the Cardinals now. The change they made there a couple years ago. He got him. I don't think the Cardinals will repeat, and I think we'll see yet another team be a world champion.
Another good movement. You know, I mean, so many people talk about velocity. Now, obviously, in a perfect world, you have good movement, good velocity, and good location. But again, Hughes looks like he can make the ball dance.
Brings that one in for a strike. J.J. Hardy, Oriole shortstop, has drawn a walk and has struck out. RBI by Reynolds. First inning is accounted for the lone run. The Orioles only have 3 hits, a Jones single, a Reynolds double.
And even with a guy like J.J. Hardy with the 30 home runs, that's 24 more than he hit the year before. If you can sink the ball, just keep it down. Take your chances.
And that's going to be a base hit. So Hardy is on with a 1-out single here in the 5th inning. Pirates have made a number of changes now as Grossman has moved into left field for Presley. Chambers for Hernandez in center field. We're checking on right. Clement has come on to play at first base for Jones. Mercer's in at third base. Arnott is on at short.
And we have the unknown right fielder. Marte's tired because he got so many hits.
And ran around a lot of balls on it.
Yes, he did.
And that's going to get away and will allow Hardy to take second base.
Manny Machado.
Yeah. So the Orioles get one of their great prospects.
He looks a little bit bigger. I remember he came up not to play in September, and Jim Presley, the Oriole hitting coach, said, "Do you lift weights?" He said, "No, never have." He said, "Maybe you should." And I'm
just a hint.
It looks like he did. Well, just I don't know too many players that don't anymore. There's the future of the Orioles right there. #1 draft choice. Great infielder for a youngster.
Adam Jones, 2 down, runner at second base. Jones has singled, scored that run in the first inning, and struck out his last time up. Machado on at second base. Getting a taste of some big league action here with the big club. That'll be fouled away. Dylan Bundy has been one of the pitchers who's gotten a taste of the big club. Or in his case, I think it's more appropriate to say the big club has gotten a taste of him.
Yep.
He has just, I mean, obviously he hasn't pitched very much, but there is no question. This is a lights out starter.
Well, yes. He's
Yes.
got a great windup. He's got great stuff. Looks like he's got great command, and he's 19 years old. The only problem, and it's the only problem, that he doesn't have any experience. Other than that, he could have the best mechanics. He definitely has the best stuff, and he might have the best command of anybody in this camp.
And he's a ferocious competitor.
Yeah, and he's in tremendous shape.
Yep.
And again, he appears to be worth the investment of over $6 million.
Here's the 1-2 delivery on the way with 2 down. A golf shot right back to the mound. Boy, he had to go down to get that one. So the play is made by Hughes, and Machado will be stranded. Here's Orioles baseball coming to you from Sarasota. Great to have you with us. Pirates up. On 13 hits in the ball game, and Oscar Villarreal comes out of the bullpen for the Orioles.
Yeah, out of Nueve Leon, Mexico. Had some pretty good years in the major leagues. I mean, it's 6 years ago with Atlanta was 9-1. So again, watched him throw. Not a hard thrower, but he's got a good slider. Once again, just trying to impress the Orioles. Not here, maybe. I mean, they got 29 pitchers coming into spring training.
A lot of people looking for work.
So again, it's not about quantity, it's about quality, and that's going to be what the next month's about, figuring out who's going to help you and who can do the job and who can't.
So Villarreal will come on. The Orioles still trying to find a pitcher who can get out of an inning without surrendering a run to the Pirates, as they have scored in all of them. Anderson Hernandez will be leading it off for the Pirates. Infielder getting his first at bat in the game. Villarreal working out of the set position, and Hernandez will take it on the outside corner for a strike. Your hope at this point of a spring training ball game is that at least the people who come in have a number on their back, even if they don't have the name. That's your hope.
Yes, exactly.
And sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't. Villarreal with a 2-strike count.
258 games in the National League. You could see again right around 86, 87. Boy, the luxury of pitching when you're ahead in the count. Don't need to throw a strike. Bounce something underneath the strike zone, up and in.
The delivery, and Villarreal will miss with that one. Hester has come on to do the catching. Wieters is out. So a new battery for the Orioles in the inning. Hernandez with a 1-ball, 2-strike count. And he got him.
Yeah, put a little wrinkle on it, just a little slider. Fastball away, and then just a little movement.
Now batting the designated hitter, number 65,
Matt Haig will stay in the ball game. He's the designated hitter. He's had a very good night with 3 for 3, 3 RBIs, 2 singles, a home run. One down, base is empty, and that's a shot up the middle. There's a 4 for 4 spring training game for Matt Haig. Comes with one away here in the 6th.
now batting the third baseman, number 69.
This is Jordy Mercer. He's going to get his first at bat. He's playing at third base. Hose playing left field. LJ Hose. Davis has gone to center. Glenn Davis, and Machado's at short, and Hester's doing the catching. Tollison now at second base. Tollison, one of those who's battling for that backup infield spot, and a strike on the inside corner. First at bat for Mercer. Alvarez, who started at third and probably will in the regular season, had an 0 for 3 in the ball game tonight for the Pirates. Villarreal with a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Short lead at first base for Haig, and a pitch down and into him, swung on and missed. 1-2. Because the Orioles have so many pitchers on this staff battling for jobs, even in these spring training games early on, it matters what your performance is. You're trying to build up something that will gather enough attention to get you on that 25-man roster. And with this many pitchers, it's a lot of people to look at, and in that regard, not necessarily a lot of opportunities to be seen.
Yeah, that's the difficulty, at least in my mind. And again, I think some guys will obviously get a little bit more of an advantage because they have higher expectations.
Held up on it.
I look at some of the starters, and again, Armando Galarraga. Take a look right here. This is what they're thinking. No. Galarraga's going to get a chance. Apparently, elbow problems, arm feeling better. Jason Hamels, and part of the Guthrie deal. Again, a 6'7", 6'8" right-hander who's had some success. He'll have probably more of an opportunity.
Mercer.
Yeah, good movement there. Nice little sinker. Velocity went from the mid-80s, 90, and then 89 miles per hour. You can just see the way that Hester had to catch it. Again, late movement. Two-seamer to just down and in.
Good-looking pitchers to right-handed batters. Early night in spring training. Here is Evan Chambers. Chambers getting his first at bat. Came into play in center field, and that's going to get away. And down to second base, Matt Haig. 6 broadcasts, all from Ed Smith Stadium here in Sarasota on Masson during the spring. Join us next Sunday. More Rose action as the Red Sox will be the opponent. Our coverage on Masson HD will begin at 1. All the access you need right here on Masson. That's coming up next Sunday. Red Sox and the Orioles. 1-0 count, runner on at second. And Villarreal hold the Pirates off the board in the inning. Chambers will take the pitch up high and gets ahead on the count, 2-0. Pirates 10 runs on 14 hits. And that will be the high strike called, and it'll go to 2-1.
Yeah, Milwaukee has always had a pretty ample strike zone. You'd think if you were pitchers, you'd like to be able to take advantage of it. And the Pirates have done that, and the Orioles haven't.
Chambers on the big cut. Can't catch up with it. 2-2. Haig off second base, and the 2-2 delivery to him, and he draws the walk.
Yeah, it doesn't get the low one. I think it's only 3-2. Yeah.
Bring it on back.
Well, it's spring training for everybody.
Well, see, he's only got a number, not a name, so not as much as expected. But even he's not going to be able to get the first on ball 3. So a 3-ball, 2-strike count. Two down, Haig with a good lead. That's going to be a little blooper to second base. Machado able to haul it in, and that'll do it. So for the first time tonight, the Orioles keep the Pirates off the scoreboard. It's 10-1. the Orioles as we continue to get a look at a number of pitchers. And Duke Welker, AA last year, comes on for the Pirates.
Yeah, well, their second-round pick back in 2007 really struggled as a starter. 0-11 one year, back in A ball, and then moved to the bullpen. 6'7", over 250 pounds.
Welker picked up a few saves, 4 and 5, 6 saves, and will be moving up through their system this year, and maybe a closer of the future. Mike Reynolds has played the game at third base for the Orioles. He's picked up an RBI double, and he has struck out. Matt Wieters, Orioles catcher, is now out of there for the ball game and has been good enough to come on board and join us here. Matt, thanks very much for taking time to be with us.
No problem, Gary.
Let me ask you, in a ball game like this early on, what are you trying to do with the pitchers as far as the game you're calling at this point?
We're just working on things, trying to work on sequences that we might use throughout a year, and more importantly, just establishing the fastball first strike, because that's what all of our guys are going to have to pitch off fastball first strike, and for the most part, we were able to do that tonight. And they hit some balls hard, they hit some good pitches hard, but I'm pleased with most of the guys that went out there tonight. They were able to throw strikes and mix in some off speed.
Matt, obviously, the important part of the Orioles getting better is their starting pitcher, and Brian Mattis. The numbers probably didn't indicate it, but he did get ahead of guys, did give up some two-strike hits, but it appeared to me he had better, maybe not command, but better velocity than he did last spring.
Better velocity definitely was coming out of his hand better, and, in the first inning, he gave up some hits on some good pitches, and then I think coming out for the second inning, it just took him a little bit while to get going, and after he got the first 2 hitters, got on base, he really started to throw the ball well in the second inning. So, Brian, it's improvement from last year, and we know he's the guy that we had in 2010 that we can get back out there and can win games for us.
And Reynolds is going to draw the walk to lead off the bottom half of the 6th inning for the Orioles. Matt, the Gold Glove, obviously a great honor for you behind the plate. What does that mean to you?
It's a great honor, but it is 2011, and it's something that I'll take pride in. But at the same time, we'll work on a better defense this year and work on getting more wins.
For you personally, what are you working on?
Right now, just trying to get ready for a long season. It's a grind, so we're trying to get the body in shape, but and also trying to get to know as many pitchers as I can. So when we do break, we're ready to go right at the get-go.
Have you gone to dinner with all 29 of them?
Well, I'd have to take 3 or 4 translators to do that, but no, I find somebody to pick up the check for that one.
Is it? We've talked about that one hit in the air to left field. Steve Tollison got a hold of it, and not quite enough as it goes off the wall, right off the top of that fence. And going into third base, Reynolds, who had to wait a little bit, and Tollison in his first at bat will pick up a double.
Well, again, his dad, a major league player, and looks like it's going to get out of here. Wind blowing now a little bit harder, but it's blowing to right. So it looks like Grossman misplays it right here. He's going to have to go back to first, and again, down by 9 runs.
That is Buck Britton, who came on to run for Reynolds. So Britton, who was watching, gets over to third base. Tollison gets the double. And Ryan Adams will get an RBI opportunity with nobody out and runners on at second and third base. Matt Wieters joining us, who started for the Orioles behind the plate here. How many ball games do you think you're going to catch this season, Matt?
As many as I can. We'll try and keep the body rested, but anytime I feel good, I want to get behind the plate.
Is that generally your call?
Buck's great with me when I need a day off. He's not afraid to give me one, and he's great with keeping me fresh throughout the whole year. But I'm sure if I went in the office and said I really wanted to play one day, he'd put me back in there.
Well, you are bigger than him. Come on,
No, Buck runs this team. Well, everybody knows that.
Yes, I certainly know it too. Can you talk, enlighten us a little bit? Dan Duquette was up, the president of baseball operations, and talking about some of the Asian pitchers, Wada and Chen. Can you kind of give us a little bit of insight into what their styles are?
2 different styles. That's definitely something that I've realized. Chen's more going to be your power pitcher with fastball changeup and mixing in his off speed, while Wada's going to be a spot up location guy, and the guy that's going to be able to pitch off his changeup and pitch off his off speed and be able to sprinkle in enough fastballs to keep him off the off speed. So definitely two different styles, but both can be effective.
Matt, we really appreciate you taking time to join us here. We look forward to more of the spring training games with you and also the season. Thanks a million.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Matt Wieters joining us, the Orioles catcher. He's got some major work, obviously, with all the pitchers he's dealing with here in spring training, getting to know them. The Orioles get the run on the RBI by Adams on the ground ball. Buck Britton scoring from third base and moving Tollefson over to third. Now Davis gets the chance to bring him home. Chris Davis, a single, and is struck out. And we'll go behind 0-2 on Duke Welker's delivery.
Yeah, we talk so much about all the pitchers that are auditioning for jobs, but what a pleasure to throw to a catcher like Matt Wieters. The ability, if you get him the ball, he's going to throw people out offensively. 22 home runs, Gold Glove behind the plate, calls a good game, gives a good target, and that's not easy for a tall catcher.
And very serious about his work, not about himself, but about his work. That's really, I mean, the maturity was there when he came, but you've seen it over the last couple of seasons really grow. And no question, he's one of the game's outstanding receivers. That ball towards second's going to be a base hit and an RBI for Davis. So the Orioles put a couple up here in the sixth inning, make it a 10-3 ball game. They had not scored since the first. And Davis gets the RBI in his second hit.
And he'll have a pinch runner, and he did it on an 0-2 pitch. So a couple of base hits tonight for Chris.
Davis's ball game done, and here is Jay Miller, who has played in right field. 2 at bats for him. He has popped out and struck out. And the pitch is taken for a strike. Edgardo Baez coming on to run. Outfielder running at first base for Davis. Still only 1 away. And Miller will take the pitch inside, and it goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Pirate pitcher out of Kirkland, Washington. 26-year-old. Overhand with a little bend on that one, and a 1 ball 2 strike count. No major league experience for him on the mound.
Yeah, he's really struggled again that the 1 year and playing for West Virginia. As a starter, or at least half the games. 0-11.
Got him. So Miller goes down swinging.
Yeah,
Second out.
Yeah, for a big guy, again, he short arms the ball. So again, the good sinker down and in. The key against Jay Miller, get ahead and pitch a little bit out of the zone. Able to do that.
This is John Hester, who will get his first at bat. Came on to do the catching for Matt Wieters. Nice scoop made as that one started bouncing away. Sanchez, who's behind the plate, out to get it. Last season, you see the numbers combined: A ball, double A, triple A rather. 1-0. Hester will foul tip that one.
Pitch running number 97, Edgardo Baez.
Left-hander Troy Patton, who's been up and down with the Orioles over the past couple of seasons, in the bullpen. Hester to third, and a little trouble with it, but Mercer gets it over to second base. With a force out, Orioles get a couple of runs. RBIs by Adams and Davis, and it is a 10-3 ball game. That game, of course, is sold out. The only way to get tickets is to become an Orioles partial season plan holder. You'll enjoy dramatic savings on the cost of single game tickets, even have a chance to buy seats for the toughest ticket in town, the opening day game. Plus, you'll enjoy a full range of other exclusive orange carpet benefits. For complete details, 888-848-BIRD or go to Orioles.com/season. Gary Thorne, Jim Palmer with you here in beautiful Sarasota, and Troy Patton comes on to do the pitching.
Yeah, pitched actually very well. Again, came over in the Miguel Tejada trade, and shoulder problems, missed most of, in fact, all of 2007. So again, if you're left-handed, can you get lefties out? Last year did an amazing number against right-handers. And one thing you look at, 30 innings, only 5 base on balls.
And this is Jeff Clement, who is going to get his first at bat playing at first base. Mark Reynolds is joining us as he's out for the Orioles, having started at third base in the ball game tonight. We'll have a chance to talk to Mark here. Patton's delivery is outside. Mark, first, thanks for taking time to be with us. Appreciate it. What are you working on here this spring yourself?
My defense, I kind of struggled out there last year, and, I've been putting in a lot of work with DeMarlo and a lot of early work. I'm just trying to get more consistent over there, and, just be, that was a nice play right there, by the way.
Yeah. Whoa.
Wow.
How about that?
Just be more consistent and, get my work in and hopefully have a good year over there.
Yeah, Manny Machado, He's got his work in. Look at this arm.
That's nice.
Wow. Well, when you talk about that, I was so fortunate to not only, Cal Ripken came up as a third baseman, but I had Brooks Robinson with 16 Gold Gloves. What actually are you working on? Footwork or maybe better balance?
Everything. Arm angles, my footwork on slow rollers, backhand, glove side right at me, and just making the routine play. With DeMarlo, he's like, hey, make this spectacular play is great, but really focus on that play that you're expected to make, and everything else take care of itself.
How about at the plate, Mark? Is there anything there that will look a little different this year from what we saw last year?
No, I'm still going to go out there and, try to drive the ball in the gaps. Obviously, I want to get my average up and cut my strikeouts, but, that's a work in progress right now. Right now I'm just out there to get my timing and, really trying to put ABs together, see a lot of pitches, and just, like I said, try to get my timing down and be consistent with that.
That ball's going to roll deep into center field, and it will be a stand-up double and maybe an out at third. Nope, going to get a triple out of it.
Mark, the one thing in your first year in the American League with 37 home runs, you had some tremendously hot stuff. Any difference in the leagues that comes to mind right away? The way they pitched you over there versus in the American League?
No, not as much. It was just more of going through the league a couple times and, playing teams twice and seeing their pitch and seeing their bullpen and, really feeling comfortable with how they're going to try to pitch me. And, I focused a lot on that. The first time through the league, obviously I struggled early on and, I was able to turn it on there later in the year. So, hopefully this year I can just get out the gates with, a consistent approach and really, study how these guys are going to try to pitch me and start out hot, hopefully, and just carry it through the season.
Mark, we appreciate it. Have a great spring, and we'll look forward to watching you here this spring and on into the regular season.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Thanks, Mark. Mark Reynolds, Orioles third baseman, with the D work. First at bat for Tony Sanchez, who's doing the catching. Triple for number 34. He is not listed anywhere. And that will be fouled off, and a 2-ball, 1-strike count. As the song goes, it had to be you. It had to be you. No name on your back.
Well, now that was supposed to be A.J. Burnett's number.
34.
Wasn't he 34 with the
Yes.
Yankees?
That's probably why there's no name on it.
And actually had a player I had read where Daniel McCutchen, not Andrew McCutchen, their center fielder, their all-star center fielder, but Daniel would trade the number for a 529 college plan for Daniel McCutchen's soon-to-be-born child.
That's a good deal. In cars.
But now that A.J. Burnett is not going to be playing because of the fracture of the orbital bone, you can delay the payoff for a couple of months.
Yes. 8 to 12 weeks.
Yeah, so.
Yes. Maybe up the ante. 3-2, foul tipped. Got a piece of Hester on the way by that time. Troy Patton with a runner at third. The infield is in with one away.
Well, again, one of those situations you don't normally play your infield in a 10-3 game because it's spring training. But again, if you're Troy, there are going to be times where you want to cut off runs. Can you make your pitch?
Sanchez, another one of the young Pittsburgh players, 23 years old, working behind the plate. Only his fourth professional season. He played at Altoona last year where he hit .241. Good minor league numbers, .276 over 3 seasons of minor league ball. And the 3-2 pitch just under the hands and inside for ball 4.
You can see Troy Patton trying to run one underneath his hands and strike him out.
So back to the top of the order, and Robbie Grossman.
A switch hitter.
Yeah.
I mean, we've already seen him beat out a base hit. It looked like it was going to be a pretty routine ground ball. So another one of their young players.
Grossman with one down will take the fastball away. 294 at Bradenton last year. As Jim said, their minor league player of the year for 2011. He had 13 home runs, 56 RBIs. He led the league in runs with 127, a .418 on base percentage.
And the number 8 prospects of Baseball America, $1 million signing bonus in the 6th round, which is high. It was headed for the University of Texas. So 13 home runs last year, which was more than he hit in his first 3 years.
Machado one relay and got him. Good turn of the double play, and Machado with a couple of nice plays at short in the inning for one of the future stars of the Orioles. Some of the offseason news and notes that made headlines. The playoff expansion, adding a wild card to each league and a one-game playoff. That has not been finalized yet. I mean, a couple of stories have said it's done, but not yet. Ryan Braun wins his appeal. The 50-game drug suspension overturned for that MVP. And the big moves, Reyes, Mark Burley to Miami, Pineda to the Yankees. Unbelievable deal, I thought, for the Yankees. Darvish, Texas, where he'll try and set some numbers up. Albert Pujols did not stay in St. Louis and went to Anaheim. Prince Fielder, of course, now playing for the Detroit Tigers.
Tidy $214 million over the course of his contract.
Good deal.
Yeah, Pineda, what a surprise. Young pitcher, power pitcher. So they needed a starter. They got him. And then Brian Morris will come on to pitch for the Pirates last year out of the bullpen. Double-A Altoona. Throw in 3 saves with that. Originally starting age 25, started with the Dodgers and came over to the Pirates.
So Morris will come on. Pirate pitchers have been effective. The Orioles just 3 runs on 5 hits. Fans settle back after the 7th inning stretch here in Sarasota. O's will lead it off for the Orioles in the leadoff spot for Nolan Reimold, who had an 0 for 3 in the ball game tonight. And Morris, the right-hander, starts him up with a fastball for a strike.
Yeah, speaking of prospects, LJ had a chance to meet him and talk to him. the 5th of the top 10 Oriole prospects. Nice little year at Bowie, over 300, some steals, some bases. Actually grew up in the Washington, Bowie, Maryland area.
He will take that one, and it goes to 1-2. There's the AAA combined numbers. And Hose will take that one outside. Sanchez dancing out to get it. A little black book of your hitting instructor. Here's the 2-2 delivery and a chopper towards the middle. Arnaud up with it, gets it over to first base and gets the out. Clemens pulled off the bag over there, but able to hang on to it long enough, and Hose is retired. Follow the Orioles with MLB.com at bat 12 for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. You can get spring training scores, stats, highlights, live audio, and more. Text at bat 31826 or go to Orioles.com for complete details. At bat 12, a new app available. Machado with a couple of really nice plays at short coming on and gets an at bat.
Even Mark Reynolds said that's a nice play when he was doing the interview. Up the middle. Yeah, for a dive, strong arm.
Up and into him, takes it to second base. And there are two down.
Well, again, when you talk about Manny Machado, you're talking about a 5 player. They expect him to be able to be a great defensive player. There's the arm, strong throw, great range, hit for power, hit for average, run the bases. So part of it right there.
Maybe another in the line of those big shortstops. And that strike on a fastball with two down. Glenn Davis. Outside for a ball. Davis getting his first at bat in the ball game. Center field. Chambers, and that will retire the side. So a 1-2-3 inning. The Orioles go down. 7 complete. Our spring training game here at beautiful Sarasota, where the Pirates lead at 10-3. Are the injuries. There's a list of some injuries. Fortunately, not a lot of serious injuries there, but they have slowed down the spring for those players.
Yeah, Zach Britton, of course, had some shoulder inflammation last year, won 11 games for the Orioles, so he seems to be back on track. And You know, Burke in the hamstring, just running sprints. Tommy Hunter back still bothering him. Jim Johnson will throw batting practice tomorrow. Hopes to pitch early next week. Because I think it's probably a little more serious for the starters.
Chase Darno will ground out. Patton there to play it.
You know, because you want to get you need your multiple innings. And, you know, for a guy like Jason Birkin, of course, you don't want to see him trying to make the ball club. Elbow problems last year, shoulder problems the year before. When healthy, certainly capable of being a good major league pitcher. So the injury doesn't help him whatsoever.
Well, hopefully that list will not grow for the Orioles this spring. Anderson Hernandez. Hernandez, a strikeout victim. Patton working in his second inning. Will get it in there for a strike. Troy Patton has been the minor league pitcher the Orioles have gone to when they've had a need, when injuries during the season have left them short. Patton's been the left-hander. Sometimes he's come up and sat in the bullpen, not even gotten into ball games. But when needed, he's the one they've called on.
Well, he was one of, like 5 lefties they had when they expanded the roster in September. So, again, very great numbers. Righties hit under 200 often. But can you get left-handers? You have to be able to get left-handers out if you're going to be one of the 1 or 2 left-handers in your bullpen. Situational lefties. I really like his stuff. I think he's got a deceptive windup. He can drop down on lefties. He's got a good changeup. You know, probably the 89 probably looks a little bit quicker than that because of deception, hiding the ball well.
0-2 delivery from Patton, and Hernandez will foul that one back into the seats.
And again, his story was obviously had some off the field problems, which he certainly took accountability for. He will tell you it made me grow up quicker, made some mistakes. But again, another guy that looks like he can get both righties and lefties out. I think ideally on your team, we saw it last year in September. Clay Rapata was fabulous, but he couldn't keep him on the team because he couldn't get right-handers out. So he's now signed with the Yankees.
Yep, not a lot of teams anymore can afford to have the one-out guy on the team. And a nice play made by Britton. He got him. And there are 2 down. Prior to tonight's game, Orioles Hall of Famer and current special assistant to the executive vice president, Brady Anderson, came out to throw out the first pitch to start out the ball game. Glove in hand, called his own strike, and retired to the bench.
Now, whose windup did that remind me? It reminded me of Clayton Kershaw, who won the NL Cy Young.
Speaking of injuries,
high leg kick. But why did he bring the glove? Line drives back up the middle. Thinking.
Never know. Somebody may take a big cut.
I saw 20 guys reaching for bats over in the Oriole dugout. And Brady went out to throw out the first pitch.
1-0 pitch to Eric Fryer. Eric Fryer, a backup catcher. This is the first at-bat he's gotten in the game. And Patton's pitch is going to miss away. Did not go around on it. 2 ball, 1 strike count. Pirates just jumped out early in this ball game. 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the third, 3 in the fourth, 2 more in the 5th inning. I mean, they weren't shut down until the 6th inning. The Orioles able to hold them off the board. And 10 runs on 15 hits up there now. Patton with a 3-1, 2 away. That's going to be by Machado that time, and a base hit into center field. And Fryer hit that one hard.
Yep.
He's on with a single and hit number 16.
Yeah, here's your hitter's count. Looking fastball, getting fastball, 3-1. You can't nibble. Got to throw it more for the middle of the plate.
Jordy Mercer up to the plate. Pomerantz in the bullpen.
Sounded hard.
Ooh. Good mic placement. And the pitch is in there for a strike. In the dirt. Hester makes the nice stop on it, holds the runner at first base. One ball, one strike count with two down. And that's going to be away. Pirates, of course, right next door in Bradenton, a town contiguous to Sarasota, where they have had their spring training home for a long time. And that's fouled away.
Have they rebuilt the ballpark? I mean, I played in the old park. I haven't been to Bradenton,
Not a
at least
lot.
to the ballpark. Yeah.
No, it looks very much as it has over the years. 2 ball, 2 strike count.
Of course, when I first started, the Pirates trained in Fort Myers. Now the Twins and the Red Sox train.
And Patton will get him and retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. The base runner left on. Orioles will try and get some runs back here as they trail the Pirates 10-3. Yeah, Pirates have a 10-3 lead as the come on, move. There you go. See? Yeah. It's one of the favorite places where fans have their picture taken if the real Orioles not here. Here is Mike Crotto, comes on to do the pitching. A starter for a good deal of his minor league career until last year.
Yeah, 137 games, 120 as a starter. Did make the Pirates last year for a brief time. Early April, then Altoona. Again, that was rehab, and then ended the year 11 games down to AAA in Indianapolis. So signed all the way back in 2006, 17th round, not a high round draft choice. Still trying to get to the big leagues. And stay there, of course.
And stay there.
Did make it.
Bottom half of the 8th inning for the Orioles. And Buck Britton will get the opportunity. The combined numbers, a AA with that very fine .297 batting average. And the pitch is in there for a strike to him.
Well, we know his brother can hit. Down in Atlanta, interleague play, homered, beat out a single.
Crowder's delivery to him will be chopped towards second base. Hernandez. And Britton's retired, first out in the 8th inning.
Now batting second baseman number 68, Steve Tolleson.
Steve Tolleson. Tolleson, as we told you, is in a real fight for a backup position. He's one of the names that has been mentioned a good deal by Buck Showalter when asked about the bench situation. He is an invitee to spring training, but still one of the players they really want to take a long look at. Tolleson delivered a double, the only at bat he's had in the game. It came in the 6th inning, and he would score. Tolleson, the 0-1 pitch to him, and that is outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. One with a broken bat. Fouled off outside at third base. He gets some new lumber with a 1-2 count. Bench gets truly depleted in spring training games.
Well, especially the when you have split doubleheader, and the first game down at Port Charlotte against Tampa.
And Buck Showalter went to that one, and obviously here for this one. Tolleson acquired as a minor league free agent. 28 years old. And the pitch will be down low to him. Many of these players, like Crota, is on the mound right now. Even Tolleson to some degree. You never know how much time you're going to get. So you try and take advantage of every opportunity and make a showing that you hope will convince your manager that you ought to have another look-see. Here's the 2-2. And did not go around on that.
Yeah, a little breaking ball trying to get Steve Tolleson to chase. Nope, not close, but not enough. One thing about Steve Tolleson, does have some extensive minor league at bats.
And got him on that one.
Yeah, there's the good breaking ball. And he does it 3-2. Yeah, the one thing they have in common when you talk about the right-handers, almost all of them have good sinkers. A lot of movement.
Trent Mummy now will get his first at bat for the Orioles. Minor League A ball last year from the minor league camp for this game. 2 down, nobody on, 8th inning. Shallow left. And Gross has to move around on that one and makes the play. It's been an experience in the outfield on these fly balls tonight on a night where there's virtually no wind. Better to be downtown at one of the adult beverage On Masson is brought to you by Sarasota. So much to see and do in Sarasota on Florida's Gulf Coast. Go beyond the stadium to the #1 beach in the USA. Visit numberonebeach.com. Bird has over at St. Armand's Circle. Talked about Sarasota Beach. There are a lot of great beaches here. If you go through Sarasota Circle, you get out there on Lido Beach, which is another beautiful beach. One of the other keys
on
here.
the way to Longboat, or is that the same?
It's instead of going right, you go straight ahead. So you got Lido and then you got Longboat. Stu Pomerantz comes on to do the pitching for the Orioles as we go to the 9th inning. 10-3 Pirate lead.
A tall, lanky right-hander.
Evan Chambers 0 for 1 at the plate for the Pirates. And we'll take that on the inside corner for a strike. Pomerantz with the 0-2. Chopper to third. Britton running throw. Nice play. Both ends of that one. Larish at first base on the nice pick, and Britton with a nice running throw.
Yeah, really nice. Quick to it. And again, on the run. About a step and a half. Nice pickup by Larish over at first. Nice big target.
Here's Jeff Clement. Came on to play at first base. Clement has had one at bat. He grounded out to short. And the left-hander takes it away for a ball. That'll miss down low. Falls behind on him 2-0. Maybe a play on this. It comes back, and Machado's there to put it away.
Yeah, the one thing, the scoreboard doesn't reflect it, but the Orioles handling the fly balls much more adeptly than the Pirates tonight.
Big smile on his face.
They should have let him play down at Miami Stadium. Eventually, Bobby Maduro, with the lights like most minor league ballparks. Didn't see well there.
There were dark spots on the field.
Very much so.
But the press box was nice because you got to swing and sway while the game was going on. Here's Lattimore, who's been playing in right field.
Oh, you were there?
I was there, yes. Lattimore getting his first at bat. And we'll take that one down low. 2 down, nobody on, 9th inning.
Yeah, I remember doing a play-by-play game with Brooks Robinson, and somebody opened the door, and all my extensive notes down on the field.
That one piece of paper.
Oh, yes, exactly.
Machado. Machado diving and not going to get that one. So Lattimore is on with a base hit. Comes with 2 away. These Pirates have had a night at the plate. 17 hits. 10 runs on 17 hits for the Pirates. Tony Sanchez. Sanchez drew a walk in the only at bat he's had. And the catcher gets a broken bat bloop into right field for a base hit. Baez up with that one. Will hold the runner at second base. So after 2 down, back-to-back singles, Pirates have 2 on. And Grossman's going to get another at bat. So Sanchez delivers a single. Grossman came on in the 5th inning and gets his 3rd at bat. He is singled and grounded into a double play. Foul back into the screen. I had given Grossman a single in the 5th inning. Apparently they call that an error.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That was that botched play on the errant throw from short. I thought he'd beat that out, but they changed it. Sorry about that, Mr. Grossman.
Well, 49 extra base hits last year.
That one's towards the middle. Machado makes the flip to Tolleson, and that will retire the side. No runs on a couple of hits, and 2 are left on base. Orioles going to the bottom of the ninth. Baltimore Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. Gary Thorne, Jim Palmer with you for the first broadcast of the season here on Masson. The Orioles and the Pirates in the first of 4 meetings. Non-rostered invitee Tim Wood.
Yeah, last year actually a terrific year for Indianapolis. Played for both Pittsburgh and again started with Washington and was released 23 saves in the minor leagues. So that's the most productive year he's ever had, and he'll come in to try to put the clamps on it.
Pretty good chance.
Yeah.
10-3 lead. The Orioles with split squad games, having held what will probably be the opening day starting lineup for the most part here to start this ball game. Edgardo Baez has been playing in right field, Caribbean League ball player, and this will be the first at bat he's had in the ball game. So the Orioles bat, bottom of the ninth inning, down 10-3. Hit hard, base hit.
Wow. Smoked.
Got that one.
That was a Pirate at bat right there. That's the way they've been hitting the ball all night long. Hit it where it's pitched.
Baez with a good clean shot off Wood. Larish at the plate. He'll get his first at bat. And that will be away for a ball. AAA, Lehigh Valley. And Larish will take it outside, and it'll go to 2-0. Gross is over underneath that one. Gross will put it away. Hold the runner, and there's one down. John Hester doing the catching after Matt Wieters started. 0 for 1 in the game, hit into a fielder's choice. And Hester will take that on the outside corner. Oh, 1 with a runner at first base, swung on and missed. Wood trying not to frustrate his manager on the mound and get a big lead. Throw some strikes. 0-2 0-2 delivery will be bounced. Runner will stay at first base. Hester with the 1-2. Down to third, hit hard, gobbled up. Mercer second, one relay, and they got the double play. Clement with a nice pick, and that will do it. Here on this opening broadcast of Orioles baseball, the Pirates come away with a 10-3 win as they got it going early and did not let up. Join us again next Sunday. More O's action from beautiful Sarasota. The O's will be taking on the Red Sox. Our coverage will begin at 1 o'clock on Masson HD. For Jim Palmer and all of our crew here in Sarasota, I'm Gary Thorne saying so long from Ed Smith Stadium. Final score here, the Pirates take it 10-3. This has been a Masson presentation. From Sarasota, thanks for joining us, everybody, and we bid you a beautiful evening's adieu.